Tuesday the 9th of... Jamil, give me your surname as well, please. Jameel. Yeah. Okay, so can you change the description and the... No? Give me those. So are we live yet? No? Can we get live as right away? Can you tell him to start? Who's doing that in there? Okay. Is it done? Because we got a game starting in 4 minutes. We should really be live. Okay, so we are live, guys. We are live. Yes. So this is live. Okay, we're happy to go? Good morning, and you are welcome to the Al Amarat cricket ground here, Oman Cricket Turf 1, for this Game 7 of the Oman Pentagular Series. Andrew Leonard is here for the first time this week. I'm just fresh off a flight from back in Ireland and delighted to be here for Ireland against Nepal, the clash of two of the big sides here this week. Ireland having won 2 from 3. And Nepal unbeaten thanks to Karen Casey's ongoing heroics. Ireland have won the toss here this morning. Gary Wilson on quite the streak at the moment. He's made it 4-1 tosses this week. Paris Kadka calling incorrectly this morning. And we've 2 changes to both sides. I'll bring you those sides in a little bit just after this first over. But we're going to have spin to start up. Spin in the shape of Lalit Rajbanshi. And he'll be bowling to Paul Sterling, who'll be opening the innings with Kevin O'Brien. Start with a dot ball cut into the offside. I'm joined by Jamil Zaidi to my right. Jamil has been with you throughout the week. Another glorious day here, Jamil.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew, and welcome to Oman. I'm sure we'll be enjoying as long as they're staying back in Oman. It's a beautiful country, nice place. And yes, you're perfectly right that Ireland the other day produced one of the best batting performances, especially Kevin O'Brien.
They're the first runs of the day from Paul Sterling. He's off the mark. Just punches that one down to long off. 2 men allowed outside the circle in this first 6 overs of power play. Karen Casey, one of those 2 fielders outside the circle. He's at long off. And the other fielder in the deep is out of the old-fashioned cow corner, really, Jamil. That's Dipendra Singh Oiri. So Kevin O'Brien, the man who made the century, you were here the other day, is superb knock, Jamil.
It's a swashbuckling knock. 7 sixes, 12 fours in just 62 deliveries. Awesome batting from him, as he's famous for.
So a nice loop to start with from Raj Banshi, the youngster. Come into the side. Nepal known for its spinners, and Sandeep Lamachani was in the wickets.
Yes, he got 4 wickets the other way, the other match. And in the first match, he was not very much successful. But the second match, he come back with 4 wickets all.
Push through, hit into the air, but there's no man at mid-off because Karen Casey is outside the circle. So looked like it was a chance for half a second. Definitely came off the toe of Kevin O'Brien's bat. End result is a single.
It was a half-hearted shot. I think he wanted to play it, push it, but took it full and just the ball went into the air between the deep mid-off and the bowler. Not a chance, you can say, but of course, not a very good shot, of course.
Yeah, O'Brien coming off that record innings of 124. The first Irishman, the 14th in history to make a century in all three international formats: Test cricket, ODI cricket and T20I cricket. Raj Banshi not finding any great turn yet as Sterling drives that into the offside for a dot ball. This is the same wicket from the first match, so one of three wickets we'll be using throughout the week.
Correct. Yes,
good batting conditions so far.
Well, as far as the wickets, wickets are a bit slower, but batsmen had to wait and then hit the ball. So far, things are going well. It is helping bowlers and batsmen both.
Really good tight start from Raj Banshi. He finishes with just 2 runs coming from that over. And having lost the toss this morning, Paras Kadka is going to be happy with that. Let's take a look at the 2 starting 11s. 2 changes for both sides from their last matches. For Ireland, the 2 changes coming in the shape of Lorcan Tucker and Craig Young going out of the starting 11 with George Dockrell, the left-arm spinner, and big Boyd Rankin, the tallest fast bowler on show here this week, coming into the side. And what about Nepal? Well, 2 changes for them as well. Perhaps a little bit surprising to see Rohit Paudel and Pawan Saraf, who'd been opening the batting, go out of the starting 11 and into the side. Starting for them today, come in, I think it's Ishan Pandey coming into the 11 and Sandeep Johra as well. So, going to be spin from both ends to start, and perhaps a little bit surprising for you that we'll see Sandeep Lamachani as well.
He started the innings, so yeah, he did it the earlier match also. On the very first ball, he got a wicket. And the very first ball, or first spell, he got a wicket. So I think he brought him back just to contain the onslaught from the Ireland batsman.
He starts with an absolute beauty, almost a wicket from that first ball. I think the Nepalese fielders thought that might have been an outside edge.
Yes, of course.
Couldn't be held behind the stumps. That's been at Bandari keeping wicket. And Paras Kadka there at first slip.
Yes, he was the skipper of the team. And Lamachani, he just gave little air to this delivery, and once it bounced, just little turn, and it was completely beat by his spin.
Shorter this time, cut into the deep. That's going to be the first boundary of the day from O'Brien. He picks up length so quickly off the spinners, rocks onto the back foot, punches it backward a square, and that's the first boundary of the day.
So a good start for Kevin, though he quite a bit. But the moment he comes on the wicket, he starts hitting the ball the way it looks. He's batting from last 2-3 days. So much confident he is whenever he started innings.
Yeah, it looks ominous indeed to start with from O'Brien.
Yeah, okay.
Good comeback from Lamachani and aggression to start. It's a 9:30 a.m. start here, local time. Glorious weather. It did have a little bit of rain earlier in the week. Did the Irish bring the rain to the desert?
Yes. It was really a welcome rain for Oman, especially in the Muscat. It's very less rain during the season, you know. But that was a very unfamiliar and unexpected rain that we had last week.
Change in the field. Long off comes into the circle, into mid-off, and Lamachani pushes long on back. Goes slower and quicker, but strays down the leg side. I think that's one of his variations. Just coming out the front of the hand, skidding on with the arm, but correctly signalled wide. 2 standing umpires today we have are Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu. And our third umpire, Hari Krishna, who'll be referring any of the run-outs. O'Brien looks for the slog sweep. There's a man out it. Long on. He puts his hand to the sky to block the sun. He takes the catch. O'Brien can't believe it. Lamachani does it again. His wicket-taking form continues. He's the leading wicket-taker in T20 international cricket this year. He can't stop taking wickets. He's got the big scalp of Kevin O'Brien.
Of course, one of the most important wicket, I think, the Nepal has got it. The man who was really dangerous, becoming in every in the coming matches. And it's a very, very good
Here's the replay
on
your screens now. You can see O'Brien looking for the slog sweep. 2 men in the deep, and he's picked one of them out absolutely perfectly.
The ball came very slow off the wicket. I think he was looking for a quicker one, but unfortunately the ball was a bit slower one. And it came straight to a fielder. He doesn't have to move a bit into the hands of deep square leg. Very, very vital wicket for Nepal.
Yeah, that's a big wicket, certainly, and it's going to bring Andy Balbirnie to the crease. Karen KC it was out at Cow Corner, and Kevin O'Brien couldn't have picked him out any better. Straight down his throat. You could see just for a moment he was looking to shield the sun from his eyes, despite the hat he's got on. He ended up taking the catch comfortably. That'll be the start that the Nepal fans wanted all over the world. They've won their first two in this. They could go top of the table with a win here over Ireland.
Yeah, of course. Looks like that. If they contain them within the margin they're expecting out, hopefully they will do it.
Half a mix-up between Balbirnie and Sterling. It was only half a stop at backward point from Sundeep Jura. And they say never run on a misfield. Perhaps good decision by the two Irish batsmen.
Yeah, of course. Balbirnie is not among the ranks. He has played a couple of matches before. Only in one match he looks very terrific form, but once he gets settled, he got out.
Really good stuff this from Lamachani, causing problems. 5 runs and the wicket coming from that second over after 2 overs. Nepal on top. Ireland here 7 for 1.
Well, right on actually, this was 2 overs. I think Nepal has got the upper end on Ireland. And as I told you, the wicket of Kevin O'Brien is the most vital wicket for Nepal. He's the danger man for every team, not only for Nepal. And they got him out.
Yeah, really good stuff from Lamachani. Not a huge amount of turn yet. I was speaking with the head groundsman this morning. He was saying he felt maybe this afternoon might take a little bit more turn, but they've been good batting surfaces. Average scores quite high.
I'll tell you, Andrew, from last all 3 matches, 3 days that has been played, the wicket is playing nicely because, spinners got a lot of wickets. Medium pacers, fast bowlers, all have got that good wickets in it. And the batsmen scored also.
Cut away powerfully, and again, only half a stop this time at extra cover. So they will get back for 2 because it was parried wide of Karen KC at long off.
Karen is the most successful bowler for Nepal. He has got 8 wickets in 2 matches. 4 wickets apiece. In both the matches they have played against Hong Kong and against Netherlands.
Down the track, that's glorious from Sterling. He gets to the pitch from Raj Bansi and deposits it into the crowd. Nearly takes out the third umpire there. He is to take evasive action. What a shot from the big Irish opener, Paul Sterling.
That was a beauty. He just uses his feet and hit it hard over the deepish mid-on boundary. The good part of that, both of them play their natural game. They don't like they are in the pressure or something like that. They play their own game, which is a very good sign for them.
Yeah, you're just seeing the replay on your screen there. Using his feet beautifully, Sterling. This time he goes outside his leg stump looking to access the offside. Gets it down the ground. Karen KC does the fielding. Sterling a little bit shy of runs given his prolific 2019, but ominous signs to start the morning there.
Well, I think Paul Sterling, one of the best Ireland has got, and he's always scoring for them for ages.
Balbirnie looks for the sweep shot, which he favours against the spinners, and Nepal are a buzz this morning. Really good energy, vibrancy from them in the field. It's a youthful side they have. Some of their more experienced players left back from this tour of initially Singapore, where they played Singapore and Zimbabwe in the Tri-Series before coming here for the Pentagular Series in Oman.
So who's the best player left out from Nepal?
That's powered into the leg side. It's going to be 6 more. This one clatters into the roof and comes down towards our commentary position here. I think our cameraman's going to be on the job there to rescue that one. The second 6 of the over. Balbirnie utilising the slog sweep. That's a glorious shot.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the only way to get it out. That was a slower one, and he nicely picked it up once again to the same position where he has played before. Lovely shot from him.
Yeah, it's a glorious shot from Andrew Balbirnie, and despite the early loss of O'Brien, they're going to continue to attack Ireland. The change in the field, Paris Kadka comes out of first slip and comes into a short extra cover. Nicely bowled and just punched down the ground by Balbirnie. Well fielded by Sampal Kami. But Sterling's got enough pace to get home. That's going to end the third over. 16 runs coming from that one. The most expensive of the innings so far. Ireland moved to 23 for 1.
Well, it's going for them after losing Kevin O'Brien right in the first over. I think if they kept betting like this, hopefully they will get a good, respectable total.
Let's just take a look at the points table so far. You can see Oman are top because of net run rate at the moment. Ireland in second despite that loss to Oman, and Nepal in third purely because of net run rate. But if Nepal can find the win here, it would set up a brilliant winner-takes-all showdown tomorrow afternoon against the hosts.
Correct, absolutely right. And this is the only team which is, as of now, they are meeting with the Oman team. Both of team are unbeaten so far. And really, Nepal, the last match they have played against Netherlands, it was a thriller. In the last over, 17 runs were required for Nepal to win in 6 balls. And this guy, Karan, has done that one in a very, very fine style.
Yeah, so it's going to be a change in bowling. I think it's going to be, is it Sampal Kami coming into the attack here? In fact, it is Sampal Kami, yeah, with number 1 on his back. So we'll see Karen KC probably a little bit later on. So change in bowling. Just the one over for the leg spin of Sandeep Lamachani.
Normally, Karan coming in between the overs. But Sampal is the spearhead of their fast bowling attack. He's starting the innings from them.
Yeah, and all Nepalese fans will be happy to see him back in national colours after some problems with injury. Getting up to good pace as well. Something that Nepal aren't renowned for, extreme fast bowling, more known for their spinners.
Yes, of course.
Good to see Sampal Kami bowling with good gas here.
You know, this part of the world, especially our subcontinent, we're more, you will find better spinners, but from last couple of years, things are changed a bit. All India, Pakistan, they have got beautiful, fiery fast bowlers in their sides.
Beats him. That one just kept a little bit low. Really nicely bowled by Sampal Kami. Balbirnie didn't get forward. He didn't come back. And he ended up really playing a nothing shot. And his off stump is lucky to survive.
Yeah, it went a bit away from the off stump. Ball kept low. Actually, he wanted to ball. He was expecting the ball to come up, but it went very low. And beats him outside the off stump through to the keeper.
Cut into the deep. That's a glorious shot from Balbirnie. It was just back of a length. Not a huge amount of foot movement again, but as soon as it pierces the infield here, it's always going to be 4 runs. One of the shots of the morning from Andrew Balbirnie.
Beautifully played onto the back foot. Just punched it out, fiercely out point toward the point boundary for a lovely shot.
You see the replay now on your screens. It was back of a length from Balbirnie. He didn't really move his feet at all, but that's how true this pitch is. Just plays through the line, pierces the field between backward point, and
it's a glorious shot.
Glorious shot is right, Jamil. It's going to be back-to-back boundaries because despite the best efforts, the dive of Avinash Bahara, fine leg. Because fine leg's in the circle, it's going to be 4 more. You're only allowed 2 fielders outside the circle. Back-to-back boundaries for Balbirnie.
Lovely shot off his toes. Tried to flicked it down towards the fine leg. As you correctly said, the short leg or the fine leg was up and it went through to the fielder. He tried his best, but unfortunately couldn't get it and ball through to the boundary. 4 more to him. Lovely shot.
Looks for the bouncer. Balbirnie decides to leave that one alone. Going to finish with the dot. Some promise in that over from Kami, but 10 runs coming from it. Ireland just coming back into the ascendancy. 33 for 1 now after 4.
Yeah, actually after losing Kevin O'Brien, they've come back quickly now. 33 for 1. They have 4 overs completed. And a very healthy run rate, 8.2.
Let's take a look at those 2 playing 11s if you're just joining us for the first time today. 2 changes for both sides. Nepal unbeaten here, of course. And How their fans at home are going to be saying, why aren't we going to the T20 World Cup qualifier next week, coming into some form? But that's the Irish side on your screen. George Dockrell and Boyd Rankin coming into the side in place of Lorcan Tucker and Craig Young. No game for Barry McCarthy this week. He's had to be content to carry the drinks. And there's the Nepal team. 2 changes for them as well. Rohit Paudel and Pawan Saraf, perhaps a bit surprisingly, coming out of the side. But we're going to see Ishan Pandey and Sandeep Jura today. So another change in bowling, just the 2 overs for Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. He's being brought out of the attack. And we'll see the star man, Sandeep Lamachani, brought back into the attack. The Globetrotter plays his T20 franchise cricket all around the world. Paul looking for another wicket here.
Yeah, of course. This is one of the best leg spinners we have in the world, like him, Rashid Khan of Afghanistan and Shadab of Pakistan as well.
Sterling looks for the sweep, and that was a chance. It could have been a second wicket for Lamachani, but it's burst through the hands of Avanesh Bahara. That is a drop catch. That is going to go down as a chance, and what a turning point in the game that is.
Could have been, yes, if the coach had been taken. But it is a valiant effort by the fielder.
Here comes the replay on your screens now. Sterling went outside the off stump, looked for the sweep shot. It came off the top edge, and realistically, that should have been taken.
Great effort by the fielder at short line. Like he really jumped up and.
Big appeal here. Given not out. Looks like it's come off the pad of Sterling, looped up, and it has been successfully taken by Paris Kadka, but given not out. So not out for the LBW or the catch. The double appeal from Nepal, not successful.
Well, nowadays, the people, especially the bowlers, try to take every possible, chance to get the wicket, whether it is caught behind or stumping.
Really nice bowling this from Sandeep Lamachani. He's not afraid to toss it up, get it outside the off stump. That's 3 consecutive sweep shots from Sterling. The first one should have been taken, should have been a wicket. The next 2 creating chances. This is really good stuff from Lamachani.
He's a very good bowler, very, very good bowler. Experience playing cricket all around.
Looks for the sweep shot again, and that's 3 consecutive deliveries where Sterling hasn't been able to make contact. Good tactics this from Nepal.
Actually, only those things put pressure on the batsman, If you continue to try to play your shots and doesn't get that, then the batsman become a bit, irritated. Why it's not coming, why it's not coming. But again, the experience counts here.
Looks for the sweep shot yet again. Remarkable stuff here. We've had 4 deliveries in the over. The first ball was a boundary 4, but the second, third and fourth delivery, all missed sweep shots from Sterling. Pressure on the opener, 14 off 12 he is.
Yeah.
Gets that sweep away. That's what he was looking for the second, third and fourth deliveries. 5 consecutive sweep shots from Paul Sterling. 2 of them going for boundaries. 4 dot balls in the middle. He'll be happy enough with that, but perhaps a little bit of fortune for Paul Sterling there.
I think Lamachani bowled very well. He was bowling with the variations in the last 4 deliveries which Paul Sterling tried to sweep. He was trying to change the pace, slower one, quicker one, but all outside the off stump. This is the one that you put it on the middle, and it was rightly stuck up to the square like before.
That's the first time he got the elevation that he was looking for compared to the other deliveries. So the end result is 8 runs from the over, but how easily it could have been another wicket for Sandeep Lamachani.
Yeah.
As I was saying, the leading wicket taker in T20 international cricket this year. And ironically, he dismissed the leading run scorer in T20 international cricket to start the day. That's Kevin O'Brien, who's been in sparkling form for Ireland at the top of the order, but he couldn't repeat his heroics after that 100 against Hong Kong today. So it's the former Middlesex pairing of Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie who are going to be facing up to another one of the star men from Nepal, because we are going to see Karen KC for the final over the power play.
Yeah, as I told you earlier, it comes in the middle of the overs, and every time it comes, he's making an impact. Either got a wicket and kept the batsman quiet with his ledging length and line.
What about his batting as well?
Oh, he did that match. It was a man of match in the match against the Hong Kong.
So Karen KC coming into the attack from the Muscat end and immediately finds the block hole. Sterling and Balbirnie really enjoy batting together. former housemates, of course. They used to live together in London when they played for Middlesex. Both Paul Sterling and Balbirnie back in Ireland now with the decision that Irish players can no longer play in county cricket unless they're overseas. So Paul Sterling declared for Ireland, or decided, he had the path to decide, was it going to be Middlesex or was it going to be Ireland? And all Irish fans rejoiced in September when he made that decision. Balbirnie gets the short ball straight away in the hook shot. That's going to be one bounce four. Picks up length so well. 4 more runs to Ireland.
Great timing from Balbirnie. Right onto the back foot, cracks it past square leg for 4. Beautiful shot. I was just mentioning about Karen Casey in the match against Netherlands. He is the man of the match. In the last over, they required 17 runs, Nepal. And this guy hit 1-6 on the very first ball, then dot, then a boundary, then again dot, a boundary, a 6, and on the last ball he took a single.
Half an appeal from Karen Casey as it thuds into the inner thigh pad of Balbirnie. They're going to run through and be correctly signalled as a leg by the standing umpire. But you can see there Balbirnie, he's comfortable on the back foot. As soon as the length was dropped short by Karen Casey, he picks up the hook shot. This is the final over the power play. The 2 fielders in the deep, out at deep square leg, almost a deep mid wicket really, and third man.
Karen bowling very well actually. He just uses variations, slower ones, quicker ones, and then Yorker one also kept the batsman quiet, but the only shot he played a bit 2-3 balls before by Balbirnie. It was a shot and he just took it over the square leg.
Good tight stuff this from Karen Casey. Again, thuds into the thigh pad. We'll see the standing umpire signal leg by again. So back-to-back leg buys. There's been promising signs from the Nepal bowlers so far this morning. Yeah. It hasn't been made to look easy for Ireland.
Well, you know, you start with the spinners. It is not always a very good sign. Because the new ball normally doesn't turn, but mostly it goes skidding and keeping you quiet.
Balbirnie looks for the on drive, but can't beat Lalit Singh Rajbanshi there at mid-wicket. This young Nepalese side, they look alive in the field. They look energetic. They look like a good outfit.
No doubt about it. Energetic, lively fielding, and on the toes every time when they are playing up to the end of 20th over.
And they're so well led by their captain, Paris Kadka, and he's just brought about a change in the field. Third man comes up into the circle, and the skipper himself will go back to long off. So long off and deep mid-wicket out. Kushal Malla on as a sub-fielder. I'm just going to find out who that's for. Balbirnie punches that one into the offside. You were saying he's been a little bit shorter runs this week, Balbirnie, but he's a class act.
Of course, number 3. No doubt. He started very well on the previous innings. But in the middle of the innings, sometimes, you know, he bit a bit slower and then got out. As far as this skipper of Nepal team is concerned, Paras Khatka, he is the longest serving captain of Nepal. And he has a lot of credit to his himself, playing a lot of gym of innings. Recently scored a century in, I think, Singapore. He's a very, very good all-rounder. Very, very useful bowler, mixing up his deliveries with spin and medium pacers. Just got into the attack now.
Just a change of gloves there. Shane Getgate, one of Ireland's substitutes, running on new gloves. It is quite humid here. We're about 15 minutes outside of downtown Muscat in Oman. It's warm, the thermometer pushing up towards around 30 degrees already, despite the fact it's just around 10 a.m. local time. And speaking of Paras Kadka, he's going to bring himself on to bowl. We've seen him bowl medium pace back in the day, but
he mixes his deliveries, spin,
bowls off breaks.
Yeah, he's a very useful bowler, and got wickets times whenever. Sometimes they are looking for wickets. He's trying to do it, and normally he's successful in that.
He's going to operate around the wicket to Paul Sterling from the end at which we're commentating, which we're calling the Al Amirat end today. Wendell LeBroy, the match referee today. Our 3 umpires, all locals from Oman Cricket, Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu are standing. Harry Krishna, the 3rd umpire. Sterling heaves that one into the leg side. There is a man out there, but it's going to soar over his head into the trees. What a shot that is from The big Irish opener, just for a minute, deep square leg, thought he was in action, but it sailed over his head for 6.
It's far away from that field. It went very high, up and there, over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. It's a long 6.
Yeah, here's the replay on your screens now, and as you can see, it soars miles over the head of deep square leg. Kushal Malla, that is out there at deep square leg. He's on as a sub-fielder.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out who he's on for. Sandeep Lamachani's just briefly off. Dragged down by Paris Kacham. Not a good delivery. Cut away by Sterling. Back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, it was a short of the length and he had all the time in the world to play. A smashes past gully and 0.4 runs. Today, Paul, I think, is taking cue from Kevin O'Brien, what he did last match against Hong Kong.
Well, this is the double threat that Ireland have at the top of the innings now, with O'Brien having moved up to open the batting with Paul Sterling. Really clever batting from Sterling. He's gone 6-4 and just happy to clip that one into the leg side for a single.
Lovely batting was part of Paul. He's playing superbly, and of course he should have been there, being more responsible among the two at the moment, because this match is also very critical for Ireland as well as Nepal also.
Yeah, whichever side wins this morning will go top of the table in this Pentagular series, which for 4 of the 5 sides anyway, they are all building up to the T20 World Cup qualifiers next month.
It is a great opportunity for all the teams playing in this Pentagular cricket tournament, because the qualifier is just 2 weeks away from it, and they have...
When I said next month, of course, I meant next week. Very soon coming up, we'll have 14 sides battling it out for 6 places. That's going to end the 7th over. And Ireland move to 59 for 1.
It's a very good total.
Looking good. So, Jamil, I'll bid farewell to you for the moment. We've got our first guest commentator coming into the commentary box now. I'll be joined by the Irish team manager, Chris Siddle, who is sporting shorts and a floppy hat. Is that anything to do with the weather, Chris?
Yes, it is quite warm here. It's a lot warmer than it was in February when we were here. I think we're talking to the locals here, the summer's just clinging on as long as it can, and it's a lot more humid and a lot hotter than we expected it to be.
For those perhaps listening back in Ireland, just describe to us the difference in the conditions that the Irish side are used to training in.
Yeah, so the humidity really makes it hard to cool down. You sweat a lot, but the sweat doesn't evaporate so quick, and it kind of sticks to you, and you end up very wet. Your shirt, your pads, everything gets very wet, and you find it a lot harder to cool down.
Karen Casey is going to continue from the Muscat end. Balbirnie looks for the quick single. He does get there, and despite the throw going all the way through to the third man, fielder Avinash Bahara, who has dropped Paul Sterling. We wonder how crucial that drop's going to be. The end result's just a single. Chris, it looks like this week must have been ideal preparation for you boys.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for us. I think all the teams here will say the same thing. It was great to be able to get out here and play games, back-to-back games, quick turnarounds, double headers, and kind of do everything that we're going to be doing at the qualifiers in the same conditions.
Slower ball from Karen KC onto the hip of Paul Sterling. Happy to just work that for a single. How difficult has it been? 4 games in 5 days in this heat?
Yeah, the 3 games in 3 days was very tough. Particularly we played an afternoon game and then we're straight back for a 9:30 start the next morning, which is very tough on guys. You don't have time to really recover properly in the way that you'd like to. So, but it's been a great test for guys, and some guys have had to really stand up, work hard, and make sure they're doing the right things to keep themselves in the best position to play.
Balbirnie comes down the track, gets to the pitch of that, and with mid-off in the circle, as soon as you beat the infield here, it's always going to be 4 runs. Really good batting from Balbirnie. These two starting to tick now. Balbirnie moves to 27. We'll take a look at the replay on your screen. Karen KC, not extreme pace, so as soon as Balbirnie got to the pitch of that and found the elevation he needed over mid-off, it was always going to be 4. The standard of cricket looks to have been quite good this week as well. You've been pleased?
Yeah, it's been very good. We've played very well. We've probably tried a few things that we wanted to try out in the heat. Lots of bowling changes, lots of things that maybe we wouldn't do in the qualifiers. We've had a chance to try out here.
Another slower ball from Balbirnie. Looks for the sweep shot, and rather acrobatic piece of fielding from Avinash Bahara. He ends up almost doing the splits, but crucially finds the stop. And he'll be wanting to make amends after dropping Paul Sterling earlier off Sandeep Lamachani.
I think it's also shown this week as well how tight these qualifiers are going to be. I think the Ducks should maybe be a little disappointed how they performed this week, but they've had a few guys come in who didn't play in the Tri-Series in Malahide. It's going to be such a competitive group for both teams, or both groups.
Sterling just runs that one off the face. There's going to be work for the subfielder, Kushal Malla, who gets the throw in and prevents it to just a single. The format that you have coming up in the qualifiers, 2 groups of 7, looks like you definitely need to win 5. You might need to win all 6 to top the group and gain automatic qualification.
Yeah, I think you have to go into that group expecting the need to win all 6. It's I think people might argue we might have a slightly better group with the way Hong Kong have kind of looked. They're maybe a little weaker than we'd expected them to be with the players they've lost, but we're definitely going in there and expecting and hoping to win all 6 games.
Cut away by Balbirnie, backward at point, Kushal Malla. That's an outstanding stop from him. One-handed, just drags it in inches from the rope and he saves 2 runs. The subfielder doing his job there. Weaker hand as well, gets his right hand out. Outstanding piece of fielding. Umpire's just checking with him, and in fact it's been given as a 4, so really good honesty from Kushal Malla. You can see the replay on your screen here. Yeah, it did just make contact with the rope.
Yeah, it's a very difficult place to get away with something like that. When you're right in front of the Irish dressing room, so it was very good that he was honest about that.
Yeah, I think a few of the Irish boys on the side were maybe indicating boundary 4, were they?
I think he was maybe pressured into that one a little.
A good spirit of cricket from Kushal Malla right down the rope, but it was an outstanding effort. Going to have a change in bowling because it's just going to be the solitary over from the skipper, Paris Kadke. He's going to go back to the left arm spin of Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. We've seen spin play its part this week, but the wicket's perhaps not turning as much as you might have expected here in the Middle East.
Yeah, I think it maybe turns a little bit more in the morning and then flattens out a little bit and doesn't turn as much in the afternoon. So it's probably a good challenge for us, a good test for us to bat first here and face some of their spin attack and really challenge ourselves before getting into the UAE.
Punched into the offside by Sterling, just going to be a single. The conditions that you'll experience, I think it's Abu Dhabi you go to first. Would you be expecting quite similar?
Yeah, we're probably very similar. Pitch at Abu Dhabi is usually very good, be very similar to this pitch. We do play a couple of morning games there, and we play a couple of games that are on the second oval there, which we'd know a little less about. But we've played a lot of games in the stadium and know what to expect there.
Balbirnie looks for the sweep and drags it from well outside the off stump. Just going to be a single. Yeah, I think that second ground in Abu Dhabi is the one where Ireland famously got it to rain for the first time and had the match abandoned against Italy. And there was a bit of rain as soon as you arrived in Oman. What is it about the Irish side, wherever you go?
Funnily enough, I think there's only one country I've toured where it hasn't rained, and that's Scotland.
Ireland are coming off a win in the GS Holding T20 Tri-Series where you managed to triumph in the most narrow of margins over Netherlands and Scotland. Tell us a bit about that week.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great week. Obviously, it came together very late after the Euroslam was kind of postponed at the last minute, and it was fantastic for all 3 boards, and Cricket Ireland in particular being able to get that on and get some competitive cricket for everyone.
And I think you were saying it was your first trophy as an Irish manager. What was that feeling like?
Yeah, it was first Tri-Series. We've won a bilateral one, but it was the first chance for me to get a trophy from a Tri-Series, it's a nice feeling, and hopefully we'll come home with another one at the end of this month.
Yeah, I'm speaking here with Chris Siddle, the Irish team manager. He's been kind enough to join us for the middle overs of this T20 International between Ireland and Nepal. That's a brilliant stop at backward point, diving full length to his right. Saves it absolutely certain 4.
I think that's something we've noticed this week. The level of fielding with all the teams has been absolutely fantastic, and maybe a big change since the last qualifiers in Ireland in 2015 is all the teams that are going to be there this month are going to be excellent fielding teams, and they're going to really put pressure on you in the field. Yeah,
Dipendra Singh Airi at backward point, diving full length to his right, and about 4 or 5 of the Nepal fielders over to give him a high five and congratulate him on saving 4. Good tactics this, though, from Rajbanshi. You can see not allowing both Sterling and Balbirnie to go to their favoured sweep or slog sweep as we move to the end of the 9th over. Ireland in cruise control at 74 for 1. Has it been difficult to know what winning scores have been here this week, or have you been happy with the way the batting's been going?
I think we've been pretty happy. It's tough when you first get somewhere trying to figure a past score and play to that, but I think we've become very good at adjusting to what we're doing, especially if we're batting first, and even when we're bowling, teams get away from us at the start maybe, and it looks like, oh, maybe this is a 200 wicket, but we always back ourselves to get back into the game and get a spell on top and restrict teams, and then we know we're capable of scoring 200 in every game, so we try not to worry too much about that, and if things are going well, we can change the batting order around, we can move people about, and potentially someone like Gareth Delaney can come in early, can come in a bit later, and we saw the other day Markadere came in much higher up the order than we thought he would, but we were in a good position, so it's great to have that flexibility and kind of work away at that.
We've seen Gareth Delaney operate a little bit at number 4. He was quite successful as sort of a stand-in opener for Paul Sterling in that tri-series in Malahide as Sterling was struggling with a calf injury. But is that something you'll continue to see? You think you'll see a flexibility with the Irish order throughout the qualifiers?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to be in 2020. You're going to get games where it's a bit of a dogfight and you might be chasing 120 and lose a couple of early wickets, and you need someone to potentially go in there and score a run of ball or just shy of that and really stabilise things. And there's going to be times where you're 120 for 1 after 15 overs and you want someone like Gareth or Markadere to go in and
absolutely smash it into the offside. I think you were just about to say
do something like that.
Paul Sterling's done it right on cue for Chris Siddle, because it was absolutely in the slot from the change of bowling. Avanesh Bahara has come into the attack renowned for his slingy Yorkers. He's found the slot though, and Paul Sterling has smashed that away. Here comes the replay. Powerfully hit into the offside. Really impressive from Sterling. And after the boundary 4, misfield from Binod Bandari with the gloves. So the first bye of the day signalled. Bahara wouldn't have been someone you'd have seen a lot of, but a slightly different action, a bit Malinga-esque.
Yeah, it is. Little slingy. It's pictures like this, it can, especially if you get a little cross seam on it, it can really skid on and take you by surprise.
Just getting a big smile from Sandeep Lamachani down at third man as he's back onto the pitch, just off for 3 or 4 overs. Slower ball from Avanesh Bahara, punched down the ground nicely by Balbirnie for a single. These two really seem to enjoy batting together, Chris.
They do, yeah. I think it's hard not to enjoy batting with someone like Paul Sterling or like Andrew Balbirnie. So I think they both feel the same way about Kevin as well. So it's great to have 3 guys at the top that really enjoy batting with each other, really understand each other, and it's sort of been visible in the last 18 months since the top order's been these 3.
Fortune for Sterling. He finds the outside edge, and although Lamachani's quick, he can't get around to cut that one off. It's going to be a boundary 4. Not exactly where Sterling was looking to go, but the outside edge with no slip in place. Even though it was a full toss, looking for the block hole, Bahara, that's what he tries to do, get it full and really tuck up the batsman. But Sterling profits with a boundary 4. Both of these batsmen a little bit shy of runs, which isn't something we've said at any point in 2019. So perhaps today being the day that they'll come into their own and make large scores.
Yeah, I hope so. I think they've both been batting very well, but 2020, the nature of the game is you're not going to score big runs every time, so it's going to be great for these two. They've definitely taken notice of Kevin getting his 100 the other day. That I think it was always kind of inevitable. It was going to be one of those 3 was going to be the first, so hopefully one of these 2 can follow suit fairly quickly.
More work for Lamachani at third man, and he's going to get the boot out.
That's boot.
He's a young man, but he's fielded it like a veteran. Courtney Walsh or Curtly Ambrose, notorious for that back in the day. But Lamachani gets the foot out, and the fancy footwork saves the 4, but can't prevent the 2. And Ireland really starting to hum now. 87 for 1 in the 10th over. Clever bit of work from Lamachani, perhaps noting he was in front of the Irish side there.
He's just heard you mention that bit of elderly fielding there and just had a little giggle over towards you there. You do wonder he's just had a couple of overs off the field. Maybe if he's got a little niggle or something's a little sore, maybe it was a deliberate effort to not dive just in case.
Let's take a look at the bowling figures as we reach the halfway point of the innings. Ireland 87 for 1 after 10 overs. Lalit Rajbanshi opened up with his spin twin Sandeep Lamachani. We've seen the seam bowling of Sampal Kami, Karen Casey and Avanesh Bahara as well. Just a solitary over for Paris Kadka, but The Nepal captain is going to continue to ring the changes. He's going to go back to Sampal Kami, who was a little unfortunate. I thought his first over was really sharp and impressive, but 10 runs came from it. Ireland will be looking, perhaps, Chris, to get up towards 180, 190 from the position they're in now.
Yeah, I think if you get a good start, you always got to look towards 200, and really that's becoming the standard target now for most teams. If you're on a good wicket, if you're not scoring near 200, then you're probably going to struggle in the game a little bit. So it's always nice to have that as a target, and obviously the way things are going, you keep wickets in hand and you've got plenty of wickets the last 6-7 overs. It's definitely something that's doable.
Yeah, Sampal Kami is going to come back in. He's a change of end as well. He'll come in from the Al Amarad end, near our commentary position here. The Oman Cricket Academy, wonderful facilities. Really good running between Sterling and Balbirnie. They get back for 2. All the fielders in the leg side are in the deep, with the exception of Fine Leg, who's in the circle. So plenty of time to get back for 2. Tell us about the facilities here, Chris. They seem world class.
Yeah, it's fantastic facilities. There's 2 full-size ovals with really good squares on them. We're playing all our games on the first oval with the big floodlights. We do most of the practice on the second oval out in the middle, and then the huge net area, huge indoor school here as well. So it's a real fantastic facility that's being built here.
Good pace from Cammy, quickest of the bowlers on show so far today. Sterling just punches that one down the ground for a single. The throw comes in, hits middle stump, but no damage done. You will play some matches in the UAE under floodlights. How will you prepare for those? You'll get some training sessions in?
Yeah, so we've got a training session. I think our second or third training sessions under lights while we're there. It's really important because we do have a couple of young guys who've maybe not experienced that before, and it's getting out there, and fielding's the real big thing, getting out and hitting high catches, going in and out of the lights, and really adjusting to that and the different colour of the sky and things. That's the real important part.
Short ball, that's on the hook shot. It's come off the top edge. The extra pace has caused this chance, and it's put down. The second drop catch of the innings. There's a little bit of confusion from the fielders running in and those running round, and it ends up that for the second time today, Avinash Bahar has put down the catch. This one a much more difficult one than the first chance he dropped off Lamachani. He did get there. I'm not sure he got his hands to it, but Sterling survives again. Yeah,
it's always very difficult, those ones, when it's up in the air and it's up there for so long and you know there's other fielders running towards you. It's sometimes difficult to fully commit to it.
Good pace from Sampal Kami. Crucial for Nepal that he's back to full fitness. Of course, a very effective all-rounder with the bat. We'll see him later on. Paris Khadka's probably going to hold the key to this Nepal chase. The man who, just like Kevin O'Brien, made a T20 international century very recently. Coming in the Tri-Series in Singapore and Zimbabwe. I've got the Irish team manager to my right, Andrew Leonard, here, bringing you these pictures with Cricket Clubs and Cricket Oman. But Chris Siddle's in the commentary box with me. It's a warm one here in Muscat. How much are you looking forward to the qualifier, Chris, given you missed out on the Cricket World Cup qualifier last year? How important is it to seal qualification, get back to the global stage?
Yeah, obviously it's hugely important. It's a very different type of tournament. It feels a lot quicker, a lot fast-paced. Much better that 6 teams go through from our perspective. I think it's great when you get a World Cup with more teams, a bit more variety. It can really make it more exciting, and especially in 2020 where we've seen even by Nepal not making it to the qualifiers, the competitiveness of teams is incredible.
Yeah, how surprised are you aside of Nepal's ability, talent, and I suppose fanaticism as well, that they couldn't even qualify from the Asia regional qualifiers? Singapore were the side that got through.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show how much teams are coming on. A lot of the sort of what we would have called lower level associate teams, how quickly they're able to develop in 2020. And one of the key things I mentioned is the fielding, that everyone seems to have picked up on the field, and maybe the way that Ireland did kind of 15 years ago, that they recognise they can all be outstanding fielding teams, and then in 2020 you need 1 or 2 strong performances and you can actually roll someone over as a bit of a surprise. And we know Singapore have got 2 or 3 players that are capable of that, and that's clearly what happened in the Asia qualifiers.
And speaking of surprises, were you disappointed with the defeat to the hosts here, Oman, who ran out convincing winners really earlier in the week?
Yeah, I think obviously we're disappointed whenever we lose a game, but the conditions are very tough for us, and I think they maybe got away from us a little bit with the ball, and then once we started falling behind and losing wickets, we don't think we were ever really behind the rate, but the way the wickets were falling, we realistically didn't give ourselves a chance to make it the whole way and bat the 20 overs and make the total.
I see another change in bowling. Let's see, Raj Banshi will come in for his final over of his allocated 4. Another change of ends for him as well. You can see Sterling looking for the slog sweep, but deciding against it. Talk me through that over. We played, I think it was 6 consecutive sweep shots to Sandeep Lamichhane.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of almost trying to call each other's bluff that Sandeep had the field set, tempting him into the sweep, and he was throwing the ball outside off stump and giving him that opportunity, kind of hoping for an edge or an LBW.
Sterling looks to go inside out over extra cover. Not exactly where he intended, but he'll end up with a single. He moves to 48, just too shy of another T20 international half-century. Bit of deja vu here for Irish fans with the way Sterling and Balbirnie going about their work, reminiscent of earlier in the summer in the ODI format.
It is, yeah, and then even reminiscent of kind of being back here in February, these two and Kevin, the reason we have so much success is when... Oh, spoke too soon.
Just as we talk about that, Chris Siddle has unfortunately put the mockers on Andy Balbirnie. It was slower through the air from Raj Banshi. It was beautifully bowled. Tempted Balbirnie down the track, and because he couldn't quite get to the pitch of the ball, as soon as it turned past his bat, it was always going to be an easy stumping for Binod Bandari. We'll bring you the replay here. I can't explain just how slow that delivery was. Really well held back by Raj Banshi. Got it to drift and dip, and the turn ended up being crucial and affected the delivery, or affected the wicket. So outstanding stuff from him. The second wicket falls for Ireland. That partnership was worth 88, and I'm afraid, Chris Siddle, that one's going to be falling squarely in your head later on.
Yeah, hopefully none of the guys are listening in to the commentary here. It is something we've talked about, and I think it's painfully obvious in most 2020 and ODI cricket that if one of your top 4 can get a big score and bat for a long time, you're in with a chance. If 2 of them can do it, then you're in a very, very good place to win the game. And that's what we're really trying to focus on, is making sure that at least one of those, our top 3 or 4 guys, is getting a score and batting for a long time.
Balbirnie falls for 38 from 29 deliveries. 28 deliveries, apologies, 5 fours and solitary 6. So a good knock from him. Will be replaced by Harry Tector. Into the crease. Harry Tector's had a really sensational start to his international career.
Yeah, it's been fantastic for him. I think something that was really important was the Wolves tour in Sri Lanka in January, and then he was part of our tour both here and in India to play Afghanistan. And as much as he didn't get a game, I think that experience really did him very well. He went back in the summer, performed well, and got into the team, and it's been fantastic ever since he got his debut.
Showing that his levels of confidence are high because he uses his feet immediately, powers that one down the ground for a single. Not afraid of the fact that Balbirnie had just got out in the very same way, showing off a few of his golf skills that the boys have been on the courses here once in Oman already.
Yeah, they've got a little competition going for this month. The Northern Knights are playing Leinster Lightning in the golf, so they'll probably get 3 or 4 rounds in during this month. And it is, yeah. They played an interesting one yesterday where the Knights played together and the Lightning played together, and they kind of faced off each other blind without knowing each other's scores until they got to the 18th green. So it was
Were they honest enough with the scores, though?
Well,
the question.
I hope so.
Slower again from Raj Banshi. Really brave bowling from the youngster. Big appeal. And the umpire is going to go to the third umpire. So this is part of the technology that we've seen installed here. An outstanding piece of fielding. Nepal think they have their man, Harry Tector, who was backing up the non-striker's end. We're not going to be able to bring you those pictures, so we're just going to have to wait for the decision from the third umpire. But we have 4 fixed cameras installed here at the Oman Cricket Turf 1 ground here at the Oman Cricket Academy.
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell from this angle, but obviously the way the ball hit Barry after it hit the stumps, hit Harry after it hit the stumps means it was at least very close to him being in.
And you can see the 2 umpires, the 2 standing umpires, Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu, have come together because they were waiting for Hari Krishna in the third umpire's box to make his decision. This is the first time this technology has been used in non-fully televised T20 international, so really good innovation from the cricket board here. Harry Tefter's going to have his heart in his mouth at the moment. He's gone. Outstanding piece of fielding. You can often tell from the reaction from the fielders, and Harry Tefter is going to have to go for just one from one delivery. It was a one-handed pickup and a direct hit from extra cover. Sterling never looked for the single, but because Tefter was backing up so far, he ends up losing his wicket.
Yeah, once again, just that fielding, outstanding bit of work that's bought them a wicket.
Who affected the direct hit. 2 overs before, he had got a full-length dive in to his right and saved the boundary 4. He's an outstanding fielder, low centre of gravity, quick to the ball, one-handed pickup, run down the stumps, and the light for Nepal, because one wicket has brought another for them. As soon as they broke that partnership with Sterling and Balbirnie, followed up with a run-out. So Gary Wilson into the crease now at number 5. Away by Paul Sterling, fielded by Sandeep Lamachani. So really good over from Lalit Singh Rajbanshi. He's going to finish with 1 for 23 from his 4 overs. The left arm spinner who burst onto the scene in the Everest Premier League 2018. I called him a star of the future. He's really showing he's got what it takes for the top level as well. After 12 overs, Ireland 96 for 3. Chris Siddle, the Irish manager, to my right, not looking quite as happy right now.
No, it's always difficult when you lose a couple of quick wickets, and something that's really key is making sure you don't have 2 new batsmen at the crease, which it's still positive that we've still got Paul Sterling there. He's well set and 48 not out, and hopefully Gary can help tick things along at the other end while Paul keeps moving on.
Just checking that we have all our audio correct. I think the excitement of the 2 wickets has maybe put a bit of those down. But we'll just get that check. Sampal Kami is going to continue from the Al Amarat end. 12 overs gone, Ireland. 96 for 3, having won the toss this morning. Batting first. The Irish captain into the crease at number 5.
Yeah, it's a great start for Ireland, and just those 2 wickets just hopefully don't peg things back too much, but Nepal definitely look like they've got a bit more buzz in the field. Certainly a lot more noise coming up from the inner ring there.
Short ball from Cammy. Good pace. He got away to that. Put away by Gary Wilson. Just going to be a single. Tell us a little bit about the plans coming up, Chris. You fly into Abu Dhabi on Friday?
Yeah, so we have a day off here tomorrow while the other 4 teams play the final game, and then we fly in Abu Dhabi on Friday morning. We've got 2 days of where we do all our anti-doping work, our anti-corruption, and do all the kind of pre-series stuff and media commitments that you would normally have before we have a couple of warm-up games.
So that's going to be 50 for Paul Sterling. Brought up with a boundary into the leg side. A glorious shot from him. And it's been an outstanding knock from Sterling. Comes from 38 deliveries. And after a calf injury that held up Sterling's progress a little, and he missed the full triangular series in Dublin, he's back with a bang. 52 coming off 38 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. How crucial is Paul Sterling to this Irish side, Chris?
Oh, well, it's like I said, really the whole top 3 are crucial to us, in that if one of them's getting runs, then we're going to be in a very good place. And Kevin did it for us the other day, and Paul looks like he's doing it today for us. If he kicks on here and gets 80, 90 or hopefully even 100, then we're going to be in an outstanding position to win this game.
Yeah, apologies for those audio issues. Apparently, Chris Siddle you could hear fine, but you could only hear me in the background. We are back now. And Cammy's got the short ball out. Paul Sterling ducks underneath. It's a glorious setting here in about 15 minutes outside of Muscat. Have the squad enjoyed their time here in Oman?
Yeah, it's a great place to be. I think the grounds are fantastic. You can see the mountains all around. It's maybe a little bit warmer here than it is in downtown Muscat because it's away from the sea. But it's a real nice place. It's real friendly. It's kind of similar feel to Dubai, but a little smaller, a little less rushed, a little quieter. So they've still got the big malls you can walk around and air conditioning and kind of have some nice food. And some of the guys have enjoyed the golf and a bit of something for everyone here, which is great.
Sterling flicks that one into the leg side, and fortune again. It seems like he's toyed with Avinash Bahar all day, but good fielding in the deep. Cuts off the boundary. Gary Wilson really quick between the wickets. Will get back for 3. Good energy from Sterling. So he will keep the strike at the end of that 13th over. Ireland bringing the 100 up in that over. 104 for 3. Getting your messages all from around the world. Plenty of people listening back in Dublin. Getting messages coming in from Kathmandu, from Pokhara, all over Nepal. Watching in your thousands right across the world. So you're very welcome and thank you for joining us here. Andrew Leonard bringing you these pictures with cricket clubs and Oman cricket. And we're going to have Chris Siddle with us for one more over. The Irish team manager as his side prepare and build up for the T20 World Cup qualifiers in the UAE. That starts next week, and a lot of those games are going to be televised. That must be something that the team are looking forward to as well.
Yeah, it's always great. Obviously, everyone's got a lot of family and a lot of friends back home that want to watch the games, so sometimes it can be frustrating if we're playing away somewhere and there's no way of watching them. So it's great that I think 4 out of our 6 games in the group are going to be televised. I think Sky Sports are picking them up in the UK and Ireland. And then hopefully semi-final and final will also be in there and we'll be able to watch that as well.
Sandeep Lamachani back into the attack now. He's already taken 1 wicket today and he could well have had a second. Avinash Bahara dropping Paul Sterling in Lamachani's second over. Lamachani will be looking to get the scalp of the Irish opener. Shorter delivery, punched down the ground into the leg side, and you can hear Chris Siddle laughing in the background. All the messages coming in because of those audio issues. Glad to know that everyone's listening back home in Ireland. Yeah,
it's a little worrying to see some of the messages that I should maybe give up the mic that's working and give it to you, but no, it's always great to know that there's people back home have the chance to watch, and we know we have a lot of support, and it's great to have that support. And
yeah, people watching in there now, tens of thousands from right around the world. The fanaticism we see, particularly for the Nepal side, is possibly second to none, really, in world cricket. And they love Sandeep Lamachani bowling his leg spin, and he's just finding some turn now as well. Wilson was looking for the paddle sweep and ended up leaving it, really, through to the keeper. Good captaincy from Paris Kadka, slip in place as well himself.
Yeah, I just think that got a little bit of grip and bounce, and probably a wise move to just make sure he didn't get anything on it with the slip in place there. I think without the slip, he maybe would have tried to angle it down that side rather than pull out of the shot completely.
Really good bowling this from Lamachani, just clipped into the leg side for a single. Chris, can I ask you a little bit about your schedule for the T20 World Cup qualifiers? As you said, you will be taking on the hosts of the UAE, but you'll also be coming up against Oman, who beat you here. But you'll start off with the challenge of Hong Kong, who have a man you'll know pretty well in their head coach, Trent Johnson.
Yeah, I think the key is that Trent will know us very well as well, and as much as we got the better of them here, I know they've had a few changes in their squad and since Trent's came in, and they're going to be working very hard to make sure they hit the ground running there. Just swept away by Paul Sterling, will just be one out to the deep. But yeah, Trent's going to give us a real challenge in that first game, and then we move on to the UAE, which we know, especially there in a day-night match, is going to be very tough, and probably Oman straight after that. You could argue that the first 3 games are going to be our 3 toughest games in that group, and then hopefully we're in a great position from there, and we're going to have, if we do win those first 3 games, everyone else is going to be looking to try and knock us off that top spot.
Cut away by Wilson. It's a shot he likes, but there's protection in the deep. Deep backward point, that's Arif Sheikh. And just before we let you go, Chris, you'll know a little bit about Canada, but perhaps some unknown quantities in the likes of Jersey and Nigeria to finish the group then?
Yeah, I think Jersey's one we probably know quite a fair bit about. They're obviously very close to us. We have under-19s have played there a lot, and it would be we do know quite a bit about them. Nigeria probably a little more of an unknown. There weren't someone who qualified directly. It's obviously Zimbabwe been left out of the tournament and them coming in quite late. We've got some videos and some knowledge, but they're probably the one team that we know least about out of the 6 in our group.
Here are the thoughts of Chris Siddle, the Irish manager. We thank you for your time, Chris, and I don't know, we might hear from you later in the week as well. But we wish Chris and his side all the best going across to the UAE for the T20 World Cup qualifiers. And as we bid Chris Siddle farewell, I'll welcome back Jamil Zaidi. And Jamil, this Irish innings that was flying just moments ago, those 2 wickets have really stifled their momentum.
Absolutely, some excellent fielding by the Nepal fielders and very accurate bowling from their bowlers kept the momentum which was started by Paul String and Belprani has been come up to a halt a bit. And they're looking for the singles.
Yeah, Avinash Bahar has changed ends. He's coming in now from the Al Amarat end. And that piece of fielding you were talking about, Dipender Singh Airi, swept in with one hand, the direct hit, and wasn't it brilliant to see the technology used to correctly give the run out of Harry Tector out?
Oman first time is using this technique at our levels, because in the entire Gulf, other than Oman, nobody is using those techniques like DRS. Gradually, we are trying to have the other LBW and Corbijn decisions as well. So I've been in Ireland for more than 2 months in 2015, being the one national team, and for the T20 qualifiers.
Slightly different weather there, of course, you experienced in Ireland and Scotland, Jamil. But that was the famous entrance of Oman cricket really to the world when they qualified for the first time for the World T20.
Absolutely, absolutely. It was the historic and memorable win for Oman. At Malahide, we beat Namibia in the last ball of the over and then qualified for the World T20 in India.
Yeah, and I remember those scenes of celebration as Oman really came into the event as dark horses, a bit of an unknown quantity. I think you were ranked 28th or 29th in the world, but no one's going to be surprised if Oman go and qualify next week now or in the coming weeks in the UAE. They'll be one of the favourites going into a group that includes Ireland and the UAE. Wilson looking for the quick single. And because of the misfield from Sampal Kami, they'll get back for 2. He was looking for the one-handed pickup. A direct hit would have been close. Wilson had to get the dive out. The end result will be 2 runs.
That was some historic moments for us, Oman, after qualifying the World T20. And in T20 also we made an history by beating Ireland that time. That was also a very, very, you cannot see once in a life you got those chances. And we have that one in Ireland. We never thought that, but the way we started, we really come up with win. And that was a fantastic win at Ireland in India also.
This is really good tight stuff from the Nepal bowlers through the middle here. Ireland were 87 for 1 after 10, but the last 4 overs has brought just 25 runs. Last 4.5 overs and 2 wickets. And the momentum is really starting to disappear out of this Irish innings. Nepal, arguably the happier of the 2 sides right now, you'd have to think. And Avinash Bahar, so well known for his death bowling. Trying to find those Yorkers. There's a huge appeal, and it's given. Wilson was looking for the paddle sweep shot, but he's been trapped right in front. He slams his pad in frustration. But Avinash Bahar, just as I was saying it, he's so well known for finding the block hole. And he's found the block hole perfectly. And the umpire deciding that was going to go on and hit the stumps. Just bringing you the replay here, and you can see why. He struck right in front of middle. Good decision, and Wilson pays the price for playing across the line.
This is what I said. I mean, the pressure that has been put on by Nepal so far in the last couple of overs really now giving them good results. Because runs are not coming the way it came when Paul and Balbrini was there. So ultimately, they have to keep up the run rate up. At one stage it was 8.5. Now it's come down to 7 point something.
Yeah, the run rate really starting to stagnate for Ireland. It's dropped to 7.5 and over. That partnership between Balbirnie and Sterling was worth 88 runs, and it came in less than 10 overs. So it was really good batting from that pair. But Nepal coming back into this match now, and you can maybe even make the argument with just 5 overs left after this one, that they're on top. Certainly the happier of the two coaches at the moment is going to be Umwesh Patwell, the head coach of Nepal. Graham Ford, Ireland's head coach, will be disappointed with what's happened. But with Paul Sterling still there and Mark Adair to the crease now, 2 big hitters in for Ireland.
I think Paul has got the key in his hand now. As long as he's there on the wicket, I hope that runs will be coming continuously, because the other batsmen had to take the time to, get them off on the wicket right now. Paul has the key in his hand.
That is what Avinash Bahara does with such regularity. It's staggering. He finds the block hole and beats Mark Adair for his first delivery. So a dot ball to finish, a really good over for Nepal. Just 4 runs coming from it. And with 5 overs left in the match, in the first innings, in fact, Ireland 112 for 4. Let's take a look at the batting card. Just exactly what we were talking about, Jamil. Outside of Andy Balbirnie's 38 off 28 and Paul Sterling, who's still there, 58 off 45. The rest of the batsmen haven't been able to get going.
As I said that Paul has to be there till the end of 20th over. That will make a healthy, run score for Ireland, because he's the one who is now seeing the ball well, playing his shots. But, it was subdued in between because some excellent bowling from Nepal and excellent fielding, though there are 2 drop catches as well. But still, I think Ireland can go, what I expect, about 170, 180 runs. That I'm looking for the way things are going. That will be a good total for them to defend.
Yeah, and they're going to have to go some to get up to that sort of position. But Paris Kadka has really changed his bowlers well. And he's going to bring Karen KC back into the attack. He starts with a short ball, pulled into the deep. Such an expert leader, Paris Kadka. He's marshalling his troops brilliantly here.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. From 8.5, the rain rate came down to 7.4 and got some couple of wickets in between. In fact, so far, Nepal has not chased a big target. They chased 125 and 133. So I think any target about 160, 170 will be a very, very good defending total for Ireland.
Comes off the inside edge, going to be half a chance, a direct hit, big appeal, and I think we're going to see another one being referred up to the third umpire. We are indeed. So this brilliant technology that Oman Cricket have installed here, but Mark Adair's given up the ghost. He thinks he's out. He's already walking off, but we're going to have to wait for the third umpire. That's Hari Krishna in the box, who will get the footage from the side angles. We'll bring you our own replay here. We won't be able to show you the side replay, but it came off the inside edge of Mark Adair onto the thigh pad. I just wonder, was it Dipendra Singh Airi yet again? In fact, no, it wasn't. It was Karen KC who sprinted around, and from that evidence, to me, it looks like Mark Adair is going to have to go. The second run out of the innings, brilliant from Nepal.
Of course, as I told you, they really come up from the last couple of 5-6 overs, not letting the batsmen to go for the runs, and some excellent fielding earlier. There was a brilliant run out of Balbrini, and now, once again, another brilliant wicket for them. Really put pressure on Ireland.
Yeah, and Mark Adair just had to hold, as you could see in your pictures, on the edge of the rope. He was certain he was out. You often know as a batsman whether you're caught short or not. But this remarkable resurgence from Nepal continues, because Ireland are collapsing in a heap here, really. Moments ago, Ireland were 95 for 1. And they've lost 4 wickets for just 18 runs. Absolutely outstanding stuff. As Barry McCarthy runs on, a fresh set of gloves to Paul Sterling. And the whole time, Paul Sterling has just been sitting and watching from the far end as the carnage has played out. So Mark Adair's stay at the crease. Another short one. Gareth Delaney now to the wicket. He's going to come in at number 7. But Nepal captain Paris Kadka, he's putting on an absolute masterclass here of captaincy. He's rotated his bowlers brilliantly. And this less fancied Nepal side, the only side here who aren't going to be at the T20 World Cup qualifier. They're on top. Sterling heaves that one into the deep. Could this be another wicket? It will be. Sterling's going to fall for 59. Karen Casey is absolutely delighted, and the Nepalese fans who have come in for this early start here on a Monday, they follow their side all around the world, are delighted. Yet another wicket. Ireland have now lost 4 wickets for 18 runs, 5 wickets for 18 runs. It was a short ball from Karen Casey, heaved into the leg side, but he could only pick out the fielder. He was out at cow corner. He takes a good catch. Sterling's gone for 59. Nepal right on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you one thing, Andrew, that during the match against Oman, Ireland started brilliantly in the first couple of overs. Kevin and Balbrain, they did a Paul Sterling. And after scoring about 9 runs an over, in the next 4 or 5 overs, they lost about 5-6 wickets. Today it has come. It's an unfamiliar collapse, looks like to be.
Just goes to show as well, pressure, T20 cricket and momentum. So Paul Sterling falls for 59 off 47 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes. And what does that mean for this points table? We're just going to give you a quick look at that, because remember, the winner this morning will go to the top of the table. Perhaps only for a short period. Oman will play the Netherlands this afternoon. They'll be looking to get back on top of the table themselves. But if Nepal can win here, they will move to 6 points. And they'll make it a perfect 3 from 3 this week. And who would have predicted that? They're the only one of the 5 sides here not at the T20 World Cup qualifier. But the underdogs coming into this week, showing why they're a side to be feared, even against the test nation that is Ireland. Simi Singh, the new man to the crease, he's at number 8 for Ireland. Very fine batsman as well. Perhaps hasn't got the weight of runs that he would have liked for Ireland. But Karen Casey finding his first wicket with the ball to go alongside that run out. Those 2 wickets falling off back-to-back deliveries. Nepal right on top. Are they going to win this game?
Well, you know, in cricket, you cannot say anything to the last ball being bowled. There's still 4 or 5 or 4.2 hours to go, and I believe if they scored about 150, that will be a very fighting total for them to defend. They have got a very good lively pace attack with Rankin there and some other players. So I hope that 150 is a very, very good title to defend.
And of course, Nepal probably better known for their bowling stars as opposed to their batsmen, with the exception of Paris Kadka, of course. But they're going to have to lean upon the likes of Dipendra Singh Airi, Ishan Pandey as well, coming into the side today. Remember, Rohit Paudel and Pawan Saraf both out of the team. This youthful Nepal lineup. Lots of men born in the 2000s on our date of births in front of us here. But they'll fancy that chase of around 140, 150. And Ireland still have a way to go to get up to 140 or 150. Gareth Delaney, he's on none. Simi Singh on 1. Delaney will get off the mark with a nice shot through the offside. He should get back for 2. Will do. Good backing up as well. Nepal have been really a buzz in the field. 2 wickets in that over. 4 runs coming from it. After 16, Ireland remarkably, they're 116 for 6.
I think both Mark and Delaney should be there till the end of the 20th over, because the run rate has come down to 7.2 from almost 9 the couple of overs. And Ireland is the most star-studded team in this Pentagular tournament. As we all said, this is a very, good chance, a prelude to the qualifier in Dubai. Every team has got equal chance in getting maximum practice and acclimatize themselves to the conditions prevailing in this part of the world. Humid and hot.
Yeah, it is humid and hot, and that's the Irish batting card on your screen there. Outside of Paul Sterling's 59 and Andrew Balbirnie's 38. A series of low scores from the rest of the batsmen. Just 5 for Kevin O'Brien, the Centurion against Hong Kong. 1 for Tector, 6 for Wilson, and second ball duck. That brilliant run out from Karen KC. Avinash Bahar is going to continue with his death bowling. He just finds that block hole with reckless abandon, doesn't he?
Lovely bowling, using his variations, blocking and putting into the Yorkers. It's really giving them a beautiful chance to contain Ireland, which at one stage we are expecting about 160, 170 when Paul was batting and Balbrini was batting. But now they really stopped all the run chase that has been coming up from both those two and got at most 6 wickets just in the span of 24, 25 runs.
Finds the block hole again, but Singh can work it down to Sandeep Jora, who's down at long on. Just going to be a single. Yeah, let's take a look at the bowling options that Nepal have left in this innings. Paras Khadka, just the one over for him, so we'll likely see Sandeep Lamachani at some point. We've Sampal Kami and Karen KC as well, but all 5 of the frontline bowlers for Nepal doing a really good job, and that final over from Lalit Rajbanshi was such a crucial one. So brave, the youngster, to toss it up and tempt Andy Balbirnie down the crease, and that stumping has proved a bit of a turning point in the innings. Delaney hammers that straight to Paras Khadka in the covers. You've been impressed with Nepal throughout the week?
Well, I think the way they're batting and they're fielding, as I mentioned earlier, they're not chasing big targets, but their fielding and determination to come through is absolutely fantastic. And the match they won against Netherlands was really a thriller. Difficult for any batsman to hit 17 runs and over. And this guy, Karan, has done that one.
Looks for the block hole again, but can only find a full toss. But Nepal won't mind that because Gareth Delaney has picked out the deep cover fielder. Just going to be another single. Ireland operating in singles at the moment. They can't find the rope. I'll give you one remarkable stat. Outside of a solitary boundary from Kevin O'Brien, nobody in this Irish innings, apart from Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie, have found the rope yet. So it gives you an idea of the struggles the Irish batsmen have had against this varied Nepal attack. Brilliant bowling from Avanesh Bahara. Finds the block hole again. Simi Singh can't get bat on that.
Absolutely, really, Nepal is right on top at the moment. Just subdued the Ireland batsmen. The free scoring they were having a couple of overs before. 95 for 1 and then 118 for 6. Same thing happened to them against Oman as well.
Just going to be a single. Avanesh Bahara finds the block hole again. Singh hammers it down the ground. It wasn't a dropped chance because it was on the volley, the half volley back to Bahara. But a brilliant over. Just 3 runs coming from it. And with 3 overs left, this Ireland innings is going nowhere in a hurry. It's 119 for 6 now. Remember, after 11 overs, they were 95 for 2. But the last 6 overs or so have brought just 24 runs and 5 wickets. And this is dreamland for Nepal and their fans, watching from all around the world in their thousands. Seeing huge numbers tune into the stream here. And Nepal will be thinking that they can take the win and set up a winner-takes-all showdown against the hosts Oman tomorrow.
Absolutely. Actually, you know, the Nepal, they didn't go for the qualifier, but team like Nepal, they dented the hope of some other teams who are vying for the qualifier in Dubai. So it is really very, very critical for other teams to play on. Lovely bowling now, right now.
Yeah, that's Lamachani back into the attack. Lamachani back into the attack. Take a look at the replay of that. Beautifully bowled by the leg spinner. We can see why he's such a asset in franchise cricket right around the world. Singh looked outside the leg stump, but it beat him all ends up. Sharp turn from Lamachani. Cut away this time by Singh again, looking to give himself room outside the leg stump, but only for a single. And the reason Nepal aren't going to that T20 World Cup qualifier is because they couldn't get past a group of Singapore, Qatar, Kuwait and Malaysia. They ended up winning 2 matches and losing 2. They lost to both Qatar and Singapore. So we won't be seeing them at the qualifier. Delaney looks to heave that one into the leg side. All he can do is find an outside edge. Lamachani proving a little bit too good for the Irish batsman here.
Of course. As I told you, he's one of the world class like a spinner. And I'm really wondering, exactly the similar scenarios against Oman, Ireland. They started very well, and I think 34, 35 for one, and then 130 all out. And today, almost the identical things are happening. They were 95 for one, and then 127 for 8 now. 6 all out.
Again, just a single. Ireland can't find any late momentum, and the thing that's impressed me so much is just how well Paris Kadka's rotated his bowlers. And he's managed to pull off a tactical masterclass here to arrest any of the momentum Ireland had in this innings and put his side on top. Slower through the air, hit into the offside. What a catch. That's absolutely outstanding. Paris Kadka gets a huge cheer from the Nepalese crowd behind him. He dives full length to his right. It's yet another wicket for Sandeep Lamachani. One of the catches of the tournament this is. Absolutely outstanding from Paris Kadka. Bring you the replays here on your screen. It was slower through the air from Lamachani. Tossed up outside the off stump. Delaney looked to hammer it away. Paris Kadka dove full length to his right, and didn't he get a big cheer from the big crowd here?
He is a very shrewd captain, Andrew, I'll tell you one thing, and he leads the team in front, you know. He's a very, very good batsman also. Whenever his team requires his batting, he's there, and he's an occasional bowler as well. Always tried to come to break the partnerships. But today, unfortunately, he was very good beaten by Paul and others.
Yeah, and with that wicket, Lamachani moves back top of the 2019 table of T20 international wicket takers, going back above Karen KC, having a bit of a tussle with his Nepal teammate there. 26 wickets this year at an economy of 6.5 and a remarkable average of 13.8. You can see why he's such a man in demand all the way around the world. He could even have had a third wicket today had Avinash Bahara been able to hang on at short fine leg. He dropped Paul Sterling earlier in the day, and with just one ball left in the 18th over, Stuart Thompson comes to the crease. He's in at number 9 for Ireland. This Irish collapse continues. Beautifully bowled, squares up the googly from Lamachani. He can just about get some bat down on that. What a spell from the youngster, the superstar that is Sandeep Lamachani. Remarkably still just 19 years of age. And he's going to finish with 2 for 21. Ireland continue to struggle. 123 for 7 now.
Absolute fantastic bowling from this young chap that is famous for, you know, he's the most wanted player in all T20 tournaments all around the world. And he's keeping that position himself, being one of the best leg spinners in the world, along with Rashid Khan, as I said, Afghanistan, and Shadab Khan of Pakistan. They are very young guys, and really they're long career ahead.
Yeah, we'll just see if we can get a quick look at the bowling figures as well. So that confirms Sandeep Lamachani's 2 for 21. We're going to see Avinash Bahara bowl the penultimate over of the match now. He'll close out his 4-over spell, and then Paris Kadka will decide whether to go to Sampal Kami or Karen Casey. So Bahara finds the block hole again, and Thompson can't get this away. Ireland have not hit a boundary for nearly 8 overs now, over 7 overs of the match, which in a T20 international and what looks like a good batting wicket to me is a real surprise.
Yeah, as I told you, last 3 days the wicket played perfectly well, and everybody was getting equal chance, batting, batsmen, all. But again, I think Ireland had to look back to their batting conditions, because in the beginning they did a fantastic job. In the middle, they had to get someone who carry on the winnings till the 20th over.
That just hasn't happened. Nobody's been able to find the boundary outside of Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. Thompson hammered that one down the ground, but Easily cut off by Karen KC for a single. Just 10 deliveries remain. We were talking about 150 surely. Ireland might be lucky to get to 140 at this rate. 10 deliveries left, 124 for 7. Slower ball hit into the sky, right down towards Karen KC, who's at long on. And he takes a quite sensational catch, keeps his feet inside the rope. Absolutely outstanding from Nepal. Yet another wicket. For a moment, it looked like it was going to soar for 6 from Simi Singh. But Karen KC judged that perfectly. Just inches inside the rope at long on, right in front of our commentary position. It was a slower ball from Avanesh Bahara. You can see he just checked his foot in front of the rope to make sure he was inside. Plucked it like an apple falling from a tree. Outstanding from Nepal.
You see the...
Seen a collapse of rather epic proportions. But Karen KC has held on to an absolute cracker there at long on. Brings George Dockrell to the crease. He's not on strike. Stuart Thompson, as the batsman had crossed, thuds into his pad for a leg bye. There is batting right the way down this Irish lineup, but just nobody's been able to get going, really, have they?
Yeah, of course. As I told you, the pressure was built on the Ireland batsmen. Did some excellent fielding and superb bowling by Nepal. It kept the pressure on the Irish batsmen and they fell in that trap.
Absolutely outstanding again from Avanesh Bahara, but he can't field it off his own bowling. He does find the block hole yet again, but Nepal continue their sharp work in the field. Although Karen KC getting a bit of a scolding from the umpire for throwing that one in on the bounce and scuffing the ball up. But just a single for Dockrell. No one's been able to find the rope for Ireland. You'd have to think that Nepal are going to be very confident of making it 3 wins from their 3 matches so far. Andrew Leonard here with Jamil Zaidi, bringing these pictures from the beautiful Oman Cricket Academy here in Muscat, just outside Muscat in Al Amirat. Thompson heaves that one into the leg side. Just going to be a single again. Closes out yet another outstanding over. 19 overs gone. Ireland 127 for 8.
Well, it is all credit goes to the Nepal fielders and bowlers to keep the Irish batsmen in check. And it is really very, very unfortunate the way they started 95 for 1. You were expecting a total of 160 to 170. And then suddenly the Nepal bowlers done a great job and come back into the game. Now they're struggling at 127 for 8. Their 20th over is underway right.
And Paris Kadka is going to go with Karen KC. So Sampal Kami will have an over to spare because of that solitary over that Paris Kadka bowled. I'll show you the bowling figures again here. 5 of the 6 bowlers used for Nepal doing an outstanding job. Just the solitary over for Paris Kadka. Avanesh Bahara finishes with 2 for 22 from his 4 overs. Sampal Kami proving a little expensive but bowling with good pace. So Karen KC will close the innings out, the final over of the first innings. Thompson heaves that one into the leg side. We're going to have a boundary finally for Ireland. Huge cheers from the bench on the sideline. It's been a nervous 7 or 8 overs for them. But Karen KC dropped that one short. Thompson picked up the length quickly and dispatched it over the rope on the leg side.
Well, this is the first 6 in, I think, last 6-7 overs from Ireland. At least give the cross 130 figure. And last over is in progress. Karen, a very good medium pacer, right arm over the wicket. Nicely played out towards the deep point, and they go for quick 2.
Yeah, really good running from Stuart Thompson. Will get him back for 2. It's the first boundary since the 13th over, remarkably. As soon as Paul Sterling fell, the innings has really struggled for any momentum. But that 6 from Thompson will just give a little G up to the Irish fans watching here. Hopeful of maybe getting up above that 140 mark. Could be competitive. Very similar total that Nepal had to chase against Netherlands, and they only did it by the skin of their teeth. So we could have a really good T20 international on our hands here.
I think 140 definitely good total to defend as far as the Irish bowling is concerned. Dockrell is a very good spinner. I've seen him bowling very well. They do have one more spinner. So if they bowl well, they field well, I hope that they will be among the winners.
That's another 6 from Stuart Thompson. He's enjoying the short stuff from Karen KC. Drops it short again, this time around the wicket. Hammers it over long on. Just for a moment, long on thought he was in action. But it's gone over his head, and Thompson hits the second 6 of his innings. Just clearing that front leg and powerfully hitting it down the ground. Crucial late runs coming in the final over. Nepal just not getting out of their innings here.
To me, these are the bonus runs that you score. 2 6s, really it's good. And I'll come back to at least a respectable total. Around 150, what we were expecting, me and Andrew, you both. So Cullen is going to bowl the last over.
Yeah, just 3 deliveries remain now. 2 6s off the first 2 balls. KC will come around, changes action to come over the wicket. In fact, he finds the block hole. Thompson looking for the paddle. Not able to get any bet on that. Ireland all of a sudden still thinking about that 150 mark that they would have hoped for earlier in the day. Run rate back over 7 and over for Ireland for the first time in a little while. That one flies off the outside edge. Third man is outside the circle, who makes a really good stop. It's Avinash Bahara, who's had a difficult day. Really good running as well from Stuart Thompson. He'll sprint back for 2, so he'll have the strike for the final ball of the over.
Fantastic batting. This is what you are looking for from the last 6-7 overs, but finally it came in the last over. And I tell many answered that it will be the bonus runs that we have right now by these 2. And I hope that with this 147, 188 figure, Ireland definitely will come up with some brilliant fielding and bowling as they are famous for.
It was really good work down at third man from Avinash Bahar. He's had a tough day in the field, dropped 2 chances. Outside of that, it's been flawless from every single one of the Nepal fielders. Been something that Umesh Patwell has put a real focus on since he's come into his post as the head coach for Nepal. Final ball of the innings. Hit into the offside by Thompson. They're going to push for 2. Cleanly picked up. Dockrell very quick between the wickets, and they will get back for 2. So a really good cameo from Stuart Thompson. He's going to finish with 21 not out off 11 deliveries. Just given a little bit of a late surge to an Irish innings that fell away drastically after a partnership between Andrew Balbirnie and Paul Sterling. That partnership was worth 88 and held the innings together. You can see the Nepal side will be the happier of the 2 going off. George Dockrell and Stuart Thompson have already sprinted off. They'll have bowling to do later on. But it was really a shuddering halt to that Irish innings. They had all the momentum in the world. They looked on course. When we had Chris Siddle on commentary, we were talking about maybe 180 or 190. But they stuttered. They lost all momentum. And what they've ended up with is 145. Nepal are going to need 146 to win. Let's take a look at the batting card. Paul Sterling and Andy Balbirnie, the standouts, really.
They were outstanding. Paul especially played his class of innings as he's famous for. All we are expecting Kevin, who did a magnificent century the other day, just 124 in 62 balls, 7 sixes, 12 boundaries. He was at his best in the last match. But today, the early wicket of Kevin really gave a lot of disadvantage to Ireland batting. Paul kept the things going on with Balprini. But later on, Nepal spinners did a remarkable job of keeping the run rate in check and some smart fielding by their fielders.
Yeah, outstanding fielding from both Dipendra Singh Oiri and Karen Casey affecting those two runouts, but some really good catches as well. Paris Kadka taking a two-handed catch full length to his right, and Avanesh Bahara getting a wicket with Karen Casey taking a good catch at long on as well. Let's take a look at the bowling figures before we let you go for the break. And strong stuff from all, well, 5 of the 6 bowlers used by Nepal, really just that solitary over for Paris Kadka. Avanesh Bahara 2 for 22, Sandeep Lamachani possibly the standout 2 for 21, but the crucial over and perhaps the crucial wicket of the innings went to Lalit Rajbanshi. His left arm spin tempted Andy Balbirnie out down the crease. And what that means is that the halfway stage of this match 7 of 10 in the Oman Pentagular series is that Ireland have finished with 145 for 8 from their 20 overs. We'll be back with you with all of the chase in about 10 minutes' time. Welcome back here to the Oman Turf Cricket Ground 1 at the Oman Cricket Academy in Al Emirat. Just about 15 minutes outside of Muscat. Andrew Leonard here, bringing you these pictures with cricket clubs and Oman cricket. I'm delighted to do so. It's match 7 of the Oman Pentagular series. And if you're just joining us, you'll see that on your screen, Ireland have posted 145 in this Pentagular series. Oman currently on top of the table, having won 2 from 2. Ireland in second, but Nepal, if they can chase this total down, they will move top of the table. And they'll have every reason to think that they can, because Ireland were in a position at 95 for 1 with Balbirnie and Sterling looking an imperious touch, but their innings really lost all its momentum. They lost 7 wickets for just 50 runs towards the end of their innings. And what that means is that Nepal are going to need 146 to win. Mark Adair with the ball in his hand from this, the Al Emirat end. I'm joined by Jamil Zaidi. The two of us will guide you through 6 or 7 overs. Paris Khadka is going to be opening the batting, but he's currently at the non-strikers end. And it's going to be Ishan Pandey with him, who's on strike. Dot ball to start. You think that Nepal will be the happier of the two sides at the halfway stage, Jamil?
Oh, right now, yes, they're on the top as they have just 146 to score. But as you said, that it is not easy for them to go through, because in the earlier 2 matches, though they chased very low totals of 125 and 133, but they lost 4 or 5 wickets in the beginning. And the later on batsmen brought them victory in the last 2 matches.
And 2 batsmen out of the Nepal lineup today as well. Pawan Saraf, who had been opening the batting, and Rohit Paudel, both of whom had 2 low scores, so they've both been dropped for today. Cut away the first runs of the day, and Boyd Rankin's going to have a big chase in his hands from third man. He's not going to be able to cut it off. And aggression to start with from Pandey gives him a boundary 4. Came down the track, used his feet nicely, and even though it skewed off the outside edge and went backward a square, as soon as it had beaten Harry Tector at backward point, Boyd Rankin had no chance.
It's a very well played shot by Ishan, just onto the back foot, cracks it between gully and point. And Rankin tried, but I know he's a tall man. It's difficult to, get down.
Half an appeal from Mark Adair. Perhaps pitching outside leg. Height looked to be an issue as well. And bring you the replay here. It was really just Adair and Gary Wilson who went up for the appeal. Here's the replay. Yeah, looking a little bit leg side as well. But Ireland are going to need early wickets to try and restrict this Nepal chase. As you said, Nepal chasing down in both their games so far. They chased Hong Kong's 125 in the opening match for them before beating the Netherlands in a thriller. But their batting has been inconsistent. It has struggled. And they're going to need Paris Khadka, who made Nepal's first T20I century last month in Singapore. They're going to need him to perhaps do the weight of the run scoring.
Yeah, he's in a great touch, but unfortunately he's not among the runs from the last 2 matches. Today I think he has to take responsibility being the skipper of the team. But total is a bit tough as I see it now, the way the things are going. But later on, I don't know, if the batsmen keep playing on their shots and keep the run rate moving, then things will be better for them.
4 runs from the first over. A good tight one from Mark Adair, who's had a fine start to his Irish international career, debuting in the one-day international against England at Malahide back in May. And he's been an ever-present in all 3 formats for Ireland since then, really. A few little niggles and issues with his body throughout the Triangular series in Malahide, but I was talking to him this morning and said he's almost back to 100%, so a good sign that. And We'll see Gareth Delaney open the bowling with his leg breaks, just like we saw Sandeep Lamachani open with his leg spin. Delaney making his Irish international debut just last month. And he's proved a real impact player with the ball for Ireland. 2 changes in this Irish 11 today. George Dockrell and Boyd Rankin came back in place of Lorcan Tucker and Craig Young. Slip in place, that's Andy Balbirnie. 2 men outside the circle in this first 6 overs of power play. They're out at cow corner and long on. We saw a little bit of turn in the first innings as well.
Yeah, I think if the bowlers give little air, and then they're getting little turns. But most of the flat balls are not turning a bit, just coming quicker and coming very slow off the wicket.
That's a glorious shot from Paris Kadka. Mid-off is in the circle. It's not just going to go over his head, it's going to go all the way for 6. And any of the fans that are here, remember it's about 11:15 local time on a Monday. The fans are all here supporting Nepal. Come in underneath the trees in this beautiful setting. Loud cheers if Paris Kadka can continue to bat like that. See mid-off hang right back on the edge of the circle. And that was, for me, what was so impressive with the Nepal spinners. They varied their pace. And they varied it really well. Again, from Delaney. Inside edge for Kadka. Fortune for him.
Yeah, he's almost spread on the wicket. Lucky for him not to got out.
Delaney's been encouraged to bowl flatter and quicker by Rob Castle, the Irish bowling coach. You can see occasionally dragging one down, but Kadka couldn't get that away. Really good stop from Mark Adair, who's in the circle at square leg. If that one beat him, it was almost a certain boundary. Gary Wilson deciding that they don't need the slip in place. Andy Balbirnie's going to come out into extra cover, give extra protection on the offside. Kadka uses his feet. You can see Delaney not allowing any air, any flight to the delivery at all.
It's absolutely nice bowling so far from him. As I told you, I mean, the flatter balls coming onto the bat is difficult to come. Wicket is wicket slower. And the batsmen had to be very agile on their feet to play on those.
Kadka down the track. He's heaved that towards long on, and it's going to soar over his head, but only just. Harry Tector was out there. He thought he was in business for a second, but the second 6 of the over comes from the Nepal captain, Paris Kadka. He loves parrying the ball straight down the ground. This one perhaps not quite as out of the middle as the first ball of the over, or the second ball of the over that went for 6. But glorious batting from Paris Kadka. That's what the Nepal fans want to see.
I think the first over was not as much good as we expected. A couple of deliveries were very good, but two of the deliveries, one is almost a juicy half volley, and Kadka played it on to the mid-off over the ropes, and the next one on the mid-on over the ropes. So I think they have to check their bowling, Ireland.
We've seen this a lot from Gary Wilson as the Irish T20I captain. Constant bowling changes. I think one of the games earlier in the week there was 17 bowling changes, and we're going to see it straight away with Stuart Thompson replacing Mark Adair from the Al Emirat end. Just strays wide outside the off stump. Is that something you like as a captain? Regularly changing the bowling, not allowing the batsman to settle?
The only thing is that if the bowler who has been brought in, if he's bowling well, then captain is satisfied. But the way the first over has gone, 12-13 and gone in that over, no chance except to change the bowler from the other end.
Big appeal. This one was a much stronger appeal than the previous one to Isham Pandey, but perhaps just pitching outside leg. We'll bring you the replay of that one. Certainly squared up Pandey. And yeah, the only thing really saving him, probably going on to hit leg stump, but if it pitches outside leg, that's not out.
Yeah, it might be missing the leg stumps. That's what I believe from here. So at least little relief to you, Andrew. The weather is good. Good breeze is blowing now, as it was quite humid in the morning.
Yeah, just a nice breeze coming across the ground and giving a bit of relief from that heat. As Thompson beats Kadka outside the off stump. Just speaking with some of the emerging cricket team in the background, and provide such great coverage of the game outside the test arena. And I was asking them if Nepal ever beaten a test side before. And of course, Ireland now a test nation, and they haven't. They have beaten Afghanistan before, but that was before they had test status. So Nepal just 128 runs from history here. A chance to beat a test nation. And if they're going to do that, you'd have to think that Paris Kadka might have to get 50, 60, 70, 80 of those runs perhaps.
Absolutely. A lot of runs due from him in the last two matches. He has been out earlier because he's the mainstay of the Nepal batting. So he has to come up as a captain and leading the way for Nepal. He's a very good batsman. And today I think he has to show his class and bring Nepal near to the victory.
And he's going to bring them soaring to victory with shots like that. They speak about the on-drive being one of the most pleasing shots in the game. Paul Sterling at mid-on simply stood and could only watch it go flying past him. That's a glorious shot from the Nepalese captain, Paris Kadka. Stand and deliver stuff from the big tall man. Absolutely glorious.
Yeah, beautifully played. It's a half volley and you just take full advantage of it. Place it on towards the mid-on boundary for 4.
It's brought about a change in the field. Kevin O'Brien will come down to long on. Fine leg and third man both in the circle now. Kadka cuts that one away. It's going to be back-to-back boundaries. Thompson drags his length back, but Kadka gives himself room outside the leg stump and cuts that away for 4. Nepal starting to motor here in the third over.
Right. It was a bad delivery from Stewart, and Kadka has got all the time in the world to play beautifully past point 4 runs. 2 consecutive balls in these 2 balls. He's a very class batsman, Kadka. If it gets going, then it's difficult to stop.
Pressure on Thompson. Back-to-back boundaries. Already 10 runs coming from this over. And that pressure starting to tell. The second wide of the over. You surprised to see Mark Adair taken out after a good, strong opening over, Jamil?
Yeah, I think I thought they might bring back from the scorer's end, but I think he has kept him for the next couple of overs because Thompson is not bowling the way he bowled in the last couple of matches. He bowled extremely well in the last couple of matches, Thompson.
Check.
Got some wickets.
Check.
Part of the world is quite slow compared to the wicket that we do have in England and Ireland and the part of New Zealand, Australia.
It's the steepling bounce that he gets as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Brilliant from Isham Pandey. Despite the best efforts of George Dockrell, he could only get half a stop. He will save just the 1 run. It was a full-length dive from the left-hander. Managed to save the boundary, but Pandey not afraid to use his feet to the quick bowlers.
Yeah, as I told you earlier that the wicket is not supporting the fast bowlers at the moment. The only thing the fast bowler has to do is to keep short of the length, not giving any room to the batsmen to play their shots. Because if half volley is short of the length, short deliveries, you have got all the time to play your shots.
Skews off the outside edge. Kevin O'Brien's out at third man, but it's gone far to his right. So fortune for Kadka. He was looking to go aerial into the leg side, but it came off a leading edge over the head of Harry Tector at point, and Kevin O'Brien could only run around and cut off the boundary. So 2 more runs to Kadka, and you can see he's got a real tactic to try and exploit this power play in the first 6 overs and get the weight of the runs scored in this chase.
I think this is the best way for both the openers to go on to the bowlers to get maximum runs in the power play, so that the coming batsmen should not have that much pressure as the Irish batsmen have got.
Barry McCarthy on as a sub-fielder is going to be working in tandem with George Dockrell, and again another run saved. It was half a stop from McCarthy initially, and then George Dockrell flicked it back into McCarthy. So good work from the Irish fielders. McCarthy on as a sub-fielder, just trying to see who's off. I think it might be Mark Adair who's off for perhaps just a little bit of treatment. Yeah, it is indeed Mark Adair who's off the pitch briefly. But this left-hand, right-hand combination working well for Nepal.
Yeah, you know, in international cricket nowadays, maximum teams used to have batting order like this left and right combination. That makes difficult for the bowlers also to, you know, set themselves up into the game.
What will be pleasing for Nepal is the way that Pandy's dealing with the additional pace and bounce of Boyd Rankin. There's no fear shown of any kind, and Nepal right on top, 35 for none in the 4th over. Already 7 runs coming from this over.
Yeah, absolutely. Right arm over. Just that is the right place to bowl. Short of the length, not let the batsman to play on. Good delivery.
Yeah, good finish to the over from Rankin. 7 runs coming from his opening over. But just a little bit of panic in the Irish camp right now. Shane Getgate running on. A quick drink to Stuart Thompson. They are hot and humid conditions, slightly alien to the Irish. See Kevin O'Brien got all the sun cream on there in front of us. But Barry McCarthy's going to stay on for the moment. I try and get you a status update on Mark Adair, who's off the pitch at the moment. In fact, Mark Adair's come back on, but Barry McCarthy's stayed on. So Mark Adair will come back into the attack.
You know, I think he has to bowl the very edging length and line to keep the batsmen in check. The way the things are going, as of now, it goes in favor of Nepal. So I've been in Ireland and Rio in 2015 World Qualifier, and I still remember the Malahide ground, the historic ground where we won the match against Namibia and went to the 2016 World Cup. It's a memorable one, beautiful ground.
So the 4th consecutive bowling change is going to bring about a chance. It's a chance for Kevin O'Brien at mid-wicket, who takes the catch. It's a crucial wicket. It's Paris Kadka who falls. Despair for the Nepalese crowd here and those watching around the world. He was looking to flick it into the leg side. He could only really find the edge. It skied into the bat, and Mark Adair's run of wicket-taking form continues. Let's look at the replay. Kevin O'Brien nestled under it at mid-wicket, ends up taking a really good catch. And how badly did Ireland need that?
Yeah, I think they are very much happy with this wicket. Kadka is playing superbly well, batting his usual aggressive style, and I think with this wicket, Ireland should come back into the game the way Nepal came back when they were batting, 95 for 1, and then 6-7 wickets fell down.
Yeah, crucial moment, and you could see the bottom hand coming off the bat from Paris Kadka. He wasn't in control of that shot, so the bowling change does work. The 4th consecutive bowling change of the innings as Mark Adair comes back in after a strong first over. He's briefly off the pitch as well, so perhaps just getting a little bit of treatment. And you just wonder how big a blow is that to not just this Nepal chase, but also mentally for Nepal to lose their captain, their leading run scorer.
Exactly. Mark Adair is bowling very well. I've seen him bowling right 3 matches. He's perfect length and line, always keeping the ball slightly short of the length, not giving room any batsman to hit. And the first delivery, he bowled the same way, short of the length, and Katka tried to heave it on to the mid-wicket or mid-wicket region, but got an edge and very well taken.
It's going to be Mohammad Arif Sheikh in at number 3 for Nepal, and you see a little bit of a discussion between Gary Wilson and Mark Adair as to whether to come over or around the wicket to the left-handed Ishan Pandey, who is on strike because the batsmen have crossed. He's going to come around the wicket. Mark Adair's handy knack for Ireland of just continuing to seem to take wickets whenever they need them continues. He's a bit of a golden arm.
He's a very good bowler. I've seen him bowling in the 3 matches. And always bowling with, using his intelligence in the bowling, changing the variations, slower one, yorked one, short of the length. He's a very good bowler.
Yeah, Mark Adair, the Northern Knight. He offers good changes of pace, as you could see there. That was the off-cutter.
Yeah.
Good lively stuff from Harry Tector. He's in quickly onto the single. And no time for a run there. Will Nepal keep trying to go here in the power play with just 8 or 9 balls remaining in this power play?
Well, I think the way Mark is bowling, actually, what Nepal has done, they should have taken that same technique. And this time he heaved it over mid-off.
Yeah, and they will keep going. This one dispatched over mid-off powerfully by Ishan Pandey. Not afraid to show aggressive intent towards the Irish bowlers, and Mark Adair probably guilty of just being a little bit too full. Stand and deliver again for Mohammad Arif Sheikh over the top, or in fact Ishan Pandey over the top of the head of Stuart Thompson, and Pandey moves into double figures.
Yeah, all the players are on the circle right now as the power play is still in place, and that's the right time for Ishan to play onto the vacant mid-off boundary. But as I said to you earlier, the bowlers have to use variations in their bowling if they want to keep the run rate.
Yeah, going to have a change in the field because Stuart Thompson's going to go out to long on, switching places with Barry McCarthy, who's on as a sub-fielder. I haven't quite been able to identify who that's for. I think it might be for Gareth Delaney. Another good slower ball, change of pace, bowled into the pitch by Mark Adair. So 5 overs gone. Nepal 39 for 1.
It's a good over from him, except for the first delivery that he has bowled over pitch, and it was nicely hit over the mid-off, or the mid-off fielder for 4. Ireland bowlers, I think, had to use a lot of variations in their bowling, short of the length, not letting the batsmen to play their shots. And of course, it should be supported by some excellent fielding, as Nepal did in their innings.
In fact, I think it's Paul Sterling who's off at the moment. Just came into this series with a little bit of a calf niggle, so perhaps getting a bit of dispensation from the umpires. Barry McCarthy remains on. He's at short fine leg in the circle. Boyd Rankin will continue, so the first non-bowling change of the innings for Ireland. Cut away brilliantly. What a shot that is for his first delivery from Mohammad Arif Sheikh. Over the offside, 1 bounce and 4 runs to the total.
It was a bad delivery from Rankins. I mean, it was very short, outside the office stump, lifting delivery, and very well collected by Arif over the vacant gully boundary 4.
So with this being a Pentagular series, of course, we've got more action this afternoon. That's going to be Netherlands against the hosts Oman. Netherlands have lost their opening 2 matches, but Oman are 2 from 2. Those 2 sides just arriving, getting a little bit of a look at the opposition. Yeah. Remember, if Nepal can win today, they'll go top of the table with 3 from 3.
Oman has a very crucial match ahead this afternoon because Nepal also got 2 matches, 2 wins. So has Oman.
Really well bowled by Boyd Rankin, a much better length. And nicely played too by Arif Sheikh, just opening the face of that down to Kevin O'Brien at third man for a single. You can see in the graphics at the bottom of your screen there, Nepal still need 102 more runs. So that required run rate hovering around 7 and over. They'll be happy with that, but they won't want to let it get out of control.
Yes, of course. And they're going quite according to their plan. I mean, 7 runs and over is good in the first 6 overs, chasing a target of 145.
Short ball, the attempted pull shot and a mix-up between Pandy, Barry McCarthy with the throw-in. A direct hit. They will appeal, but the umpire deciding not to go to the third umpire as Pandy got back. Good fielding from McCarthy at mid-off. The attempted pull shot was just too quick from Rankin. Ended up going not where he intended.
It is very difficult for a fast bowler to, to retrieve himself after bowling the ball. Good reflexes to be there to get it on.
You can see here, just really beaten for pace and bounce. It skewed off the edge. A real mix-up. McCarthy was quick in. The throw just hitting. In fact, Wilson deflecting that one onto the stumps. And this time they'll get through for a leg by. So Boyd Rankin's bounce is the thing that's causing issues here.
Well, the runs are coming, Andrew. I mean, runs are coming in every over. That is a point of, worry for the Irish captain.
Yeah, the final over of the power play this. In fact, the final ball of the power play now. And that's a real beauty to finish the power play. Getting that steepling bounce from just back of a length. And at the end of the power play, it's 45 for 1.
Lovely delivery from Rankin. It just went past the batsman through the keeper. Ireland bowler has to bowl in the same way as the Rankin has bowled the last delivery of his over. It was the sheer pace, lively delivery that left the batsman intact, and he just tried to play and went through the keeper. So that's the end of the power play. 6 overs, 45 for 1 Ireland.
So we're going to see another change in bowling for Ireland. The leg spin of Gareth Delaney will come back into the attack now, and he'll have 5 fielders outside the 20-yard circle, or 30-yard circle even, that he'll be allowed to use instead of the 2. Yeah. And that bit of relief will hopefully provide some relief for Ireland as well, because this game is right in the balance. Nepal at the end of the 6-over power play, they're 45 for 1. Right in this match, remember, as we were saying just moments ago, it would be a first ever victory in any format over a test nation for Nepal. So even though they're not going to be at the T20 World Cup qualifier, all to play for here for them, as Pandy works it into the leg side for a quick single.
Yeah, yes, as you said correctly, Nepal, if they play well, keep their minds in check, they might be going to be the winners on first win over a test playing nation.
Yeah, not just a first win over a test playing nation, they'll move top of the table in this Pentagular series.
Yes.
Remember, the only one of the 5 sides that aren't going on to the T20 World Cup qualifiers here in Nepal. But showing why they can be such a threat at international level. This new youthful T20 side that they've picked is starting to shine on the international stage. So impressive in the field they were.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Fantastic fielding from them, and equally very, very clever bowling from their bowlers. Of course, supported brilliantly by their fielders. 2 exceptional catches, one on the long one, and another one which has been taken by the skipper, was absolutely thriller.
Yeah, shorter that time from Delaney, pulled into the deep by Pandey. This left-hand, right-hand combination continuing to work for Nepal, and for the first time, those required runs dipping under 100, 98 more needed now. That required run rate hovering around 7 and over. They'll feel like they're right in the game.
Yeah, so far they are bowling very well, according to their tactics. I mean, 7 and then go. It's good to chase a target of 145.
You can hear the shout from Kevin O'Brien in the field. 50 for 2. He's looking for the wicket for his side. Hit into the offside powerfully by Arif Sheikh. George Dockrell's out there, but really good running between the youngsters, despite the dropped bat from Arif Sheikh. Will get him back for 2, and he'll have to jog down to Pandey to pick that one up.
Brilliant running from these two, Ishan and Arif. And that is the technique they should use, try to take maximum runs that will give them a chance to, come up closer to the total of 145 and not to put pressure on the batsmen to come.
Dragged down by Delaney, but Sheikh will just punch that into the onside for a single. So 6 runs coming from that over. A better one from Delaney after being hit for the 2 sixes by Paris Kadka in his opening over. And at the end of 7, Nepal bring up their 50. They're 51 for 1.
Yeah, so far they are playing absolutely perfect. Nepal 51 in 7 overs, not a bad chase. 145 is the target. They have to go for it. Ireland has to do a lot of hard work now to contain these batsmen. Nepal taking singles, doubles.
We have a change in the field and a change of bowling because Barry McCarthy's time as subfielder will end. He'll jog off and Paul Sterling will come back on. I'm not sure if he's just protecting that calf. So a little bit of strapping around that as he came out to bat today. Yet another international 50 from Paul Sterling today. The high score of the day so far. But the change of bowling will be Stuart Thompson from the Muscat end to replace Boyd Rankin. Would you like to have seen Boyd Rankin continue on, having bowled 2 such impressive overs?
I think he did well, but I think skipper wanted to have him back after a couple of more overs because so far he bowled very well. But you need some bowler like the one who is stopping the ball, runs chase in the later stages. I have seen in all the matches that Ireland played so far, their top order is doing very well. But the middle and the later order batsmen not coming up with the expectations.
It's going to need to be the top order in Nepal that will be trying to chase the lion's share of these runs. Pandey and Arif starting to combine well. Arif moving into double figures. But there is some hitting to come. We'll probably see Dipendra Singh Irene at 4, maybe Binod Bandari at 5. But don't rule out Karen KC. He always seems to be the man with the bat down the order for Nepal.
Yes, he's a very, very danger man in the later stages of the game. The way he played it against Netherlands was some absolute thriller. At one stage, things were going well for Netherlands. 17 runs an over is not an easy target to chase. And did it in a style, Karen Casey. It was a bad bowling, in fact. Most of the balls he gave half volleys, which he has all the time to hit over mid-on, mid-wicket.
Nicely bowled by Thompson outside the off-stump. Clearly a tactic that the Irish bowlers have spoken about to the left-handed Pandey. Dot ball, the end result.
Yeah, Thompson is bowled very well so far in this tournament. I have seen all the matches. He marked there. They bowled very well. But today I think they must bowl exceptionally well to keep the things in check for them.
Just onto the legs this time and flicked out to Gareth Delaney, who picks up well and prevents the double. Just 1 run to the total.
Thompson continues to bowl from the scorer's end. Right arm over the wicket to RF. And half volley brilliantly played between point and gully. 4 runs. Lovely shot.
Yeah, glorious batting from Arif Sheikh. It was over pitch from Thompson, and Sheikh has opened the face of the bat. And Gareth Delaney's out at the cover boundary, but it's gone to his left. And a crucial boundary to keep that required run rate in check.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautifully placed between point and gully.
Yeah, there is 2 men in the circle behind square on the offside. That's Paul Sterling at third man and Kevin O'Brien at a backward point. I'm just seeing Gareth Delaney come a little bit square in the deep. Good comeback from Thompson into the pitch. They seem to have been the deliveries that have been the hardest to score off.
Yeah, of course, yes. Absolutely. I think Irish bowlers have some tiredness because of this hot weather? We're not used to be.
Yeah, well, they've been here for over a week already in Oman, and as Chris Siddle told us earlier, the perfect preparations for their T20 World Cup qualifier in the UAE. It gets going next week. But yeah, I think perhaps Nepal a little bit more accustomed to the heat than the Irish.
Yeah, this subcontinent and Asian teams have more acclimatized themselves with the conditions that we have in Muscat. And of course, in the qualifier, you will have to face the same weather. But it will be more humid in UAE compared to Oman.
Yeah, drinks being run on here for the two Nepal batsmen, and Shane Getgate, the Irish 12th man, taking the opportunity to get some liquids on. Going to see another change in bowling. Going to be more spin for Ireland. This time, Simi Singh. It'll be interesting to see if he just sticks with the off breaks,
Correct.
or if we get the occasional leg break as well.
He played in one match so far for Ireland, and I got a wicket as well in that tournament. So we'll be having the Nepal coach with some conversation with Andrew.
Yeah, delighted to have our second guest commentator of the afternoon. We'll bid
Thank you.
Jamil farewell for the moment, and it's going to be really interesting to hear the thoughts of the Nepal batting coach, Venkat Ram, who's going to come in and join me now. As Simi Singh has punched down the ground for a single, and Venkat, being the batting coach, you must be happy with how your boys are going so far. Or you're the bowling coach, sorry. But you must be pleased then particularly with your bowling effort.
Yeah, fantastic. They're doing very well. Last couple of weeks, our Nepal bowling is doing really marvelous job, and I'm expecting they'll keep doing this job.
So Nepal tends to be known for their spinners. I was over at the Everest Premier League last year. We saw almost an army of left-arm spinners, and you think of the leg breaks of Sandeep Lamachani. But the improvements in the pace department with the likes of Avinash Bahara come in must have been really pleasing for you.
See, spinners, Sandy, we need not to tell much about him. He's been doing very well all over the country. Wherever he's going, he's doing well. But yes, the young guys, the left-arm spinners, and other leggies, they're doing beautifully. They're doing good job. Yes, pacers, they're really, what I'm finding in this tournament, they're doing really very, very well.
And Avinash Bahara in particular just seems to be made up as a death bowler specialist. He finds that block hole with...
I have not seen this kind of bowler. Whenever you call him, he will out of 6, 3 to 4 ball. The
Yorker
line, beautiful. That is outstanding.
Simi Singh around the wicket now to the left-handed Pandey, and that's just drifted down the leg side. Are you pleased with where this chase is going? You're keeping the required run rate in and around 7 and over?
There is no problem at all, no panic. I mean, boys are doing very well. I think if we'll go like this, we'll achieve our target. I'm very confident about it.
You picked a young side here for this, not just this tour of Oman, but also for the Triangular Series in Singapore. You must be pleased with the way that your side's fielding really seems to have stepped up a gear as well.
Outstanding. Their fitness level is very, very high. And they got very limitation facilities, whatever the facilities got there in Nepal. After seeing that, what they are doing, I mean, the mind-blowing job they're doing. And boys, they are very committed to this game. So one that I can say that their fielding level, the bowling, they are doing excellent job.
I'm talking here with the Nepal batting coach, that's Venkat Ram, Nepal bowling coach. We'll get it right eventually, Venkat, apologies. And his bowlers really did oversee an outstanding comeback in the first innings. Ireland were 95 for 1 at one stage, and they collapsed in a heap. You must have had a big smile on your face.
Yeah, that shows the character of the team. In every match, whenever they come, the way they ball, the 9 points plus average was going, and from there they pulled on to 6, 7 in between. A fantastic captainship, I'll mention here. Paras is doing fantastic job. Some beautiful fielding. So well supported by fielding and to the bowlers. So I think they've done great job.
Yeah, Paras Kadko really did an outstanding job in that first innings as the leader of this Nepal side. And do you even know that this side is standing on the brink of history? They've never had a win over a Test nation in an ODI or a T20I. So if they can get across the line here, it could be a historic day.
Yeah, we'll wait and watch. Yeah, I think I'm very optimistic about it. So I think they could easily they can make it.
Tell us a bit about the sort of devastation of missing out on the T20 World Cup qualifier from that Asian regional qualifier. You'd love to be there next week in the UAE?
I was not. No, I'm going back to India. I'm working with National Cricket Academy there. So I was just before this tournament only, before Singapore tournament only, I joined them. Not much, a week before I joined the team. So in the next tour, our coach is there, Umesh. He's doing an excellent job. So he will continue. He's a head coach. He will continue as a head coach, and I had to go back to India.
Yeah, Umesh Patwell, the Nepal head coach. But Nepal must be gutted to not be there in the UAE next week to have their chance to try and qualify for the main event.
I think we are not playing in UAE next week. The Nepal team is not there. So they're playing in Nepal itself. I think one of this MCC team is coming there. So they'll play some friendly matches over there. So that is what is that.
Yeah, and then it will be on to the Cricket World Cup League 2 qualifier. The first matches for Nepal in that take place next year in early February.
Yeah.
It'll be in Kathmandu as the USA and Oman go up.
Yeah, 4 nation, I think that is.
Pulled into the deep, and that's going to be a boundary 4. Dissects Andy Balbirnie and Simi Singh out in the deep. A short delivery from Gareth Delaney, a poor one. It was dragged down. Ishan Pandey's picked up the length quickly. And as you can see on the replay here, hammered into the deep. And this Nepal chase is looking in control. That required run rate has been solid around 7 and over. Tell us a bit about some of the batsmen to come. You've got Dipendra Singh Airi probably in next at 4, Binod Bandari, and that man Karen KC can't seem to stop getting runs.
We have a fantastic batting lineup, you know. And the pinch hitter, the Karan plays down the order, and next 2-3 batsmen, they're really outstanding. They are good. I mean, they're very confident lad. I'm sure they carry this. We got that momentum to win, so we'll carry that.
And pressure on Delaney after that wide. Another short delivery pulled into the deep, but with no great power, straight to Andy Balbirnie. Just going to be a single. Have you been impressed by not just the bowling and fielding, but also the batting in terms of getting the side across the line against the Netherlands in the last game?
Very nice. They're batting very well. The most of matches, even Singapore also. One match somehow we couldn't do well, but the rest of other matches, batsmen they are very much doing very well. So, and especially this tournament, I'm saying the batting, bowling, the all-round performance about the Nepal. So I've been telling them right from beginning. I'm seeing them. They're outstanding lads. They're doing very well, and I see a lot of future in them. You know, this team is in making. You know, the youngsters are there. So within a year or two, you see, this team will be changed so much. They'll do much better.
Beautifully bowled by Delaney. It was the googly. It's beat him outside the off stump, and we're going to see this decision referred up to the third umpire. We'll try and bring you a replay of that. It looked to be very close. Gary Wilson thinks he might have his man. You can see the replay from our angle on your screen here. It was a really beautiful piece of bowling. Deceived Pandey in the flight. Just was the googly, went on with the arm. Gary Wilson had a big appeal. And what that means is that the third umpire, Hari Krishna, is right now looking at the footage from the static camera side on. And we're going to have to wait for that decision. The two standing umpires, Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu, are waiting for Hari Krishna's decision. It must be a close one because he's continuing to decide whether or not Pandey made his ground and got back. Crucial moment in the match here, you sense, Venkat. Ireland really needed a wicket. I'm going to show you our replay once more. It was the googly from Delaney, not picked perhaps by Ishan Pandey. Really quick, sharp work that from Delaney. And right now, as you can see on your screen, all the players are waiting for the decision. And it's been given not out. So that must have been very tight, but he has made his ground.
Yeah. And very vital wicket is this one. You know, Pandey since batting very well. He's playing only first match in here, Muscat. So what I'm seeing, he played a couple of matches in the last tournament. So it's a beautiful, with a fantastic comeback for him. So I'm very, very happy to see his bat. The way he's playing, the way he's batting is really good.
Venkat, it's a really youthful side you have here. Just 3 players over the age of 30. And that's the experience of Paris Kadka and in fact, Binod Bandari and Karen KC, not even 30 yet themselves. So just one player over the age of 30. It's really youthful. A lot of teenagers in the setup. Is that?
It's a mix-up team, you know. Some of the senior players are there. Yes,
swept into the deep. A chance for Simi Singh, who takes a brilliant catch. And just as Pandey was given a life by that stumping being given not out, he gets the slog sweep out. And Simi Singh, who didn't pick it up particularly well at first, has taken an outstanding diving catch to put the game right back in the balance. An impressive knock from Pandey, but he just couldn't quite get his strike rate going. Looking for the big hit here. Simi Singh picked it up late, but dove and clung on just inches above the turf. That could be a crucial moment, Venkat.
Yeah, once again, the match is still more in Nepal side, I still believe. I told you, as I told you, I'm very optimistic. The boys will do their job 100%. They'll complete this match in a winning note. So let's see. Let's wait and watch for what is going to happen.
And you've one of your more experienced operators here, Dipendra Singh Iree, who's going to come into the side, even though he's just 19 years of age, remarkably. He's quick between the wickets. He's a busy player. Loves to cut and pull. Diminutive stature. Not a tall batsman at all. But a crucial moment there. Gareth Delaney finding the breakthrough for Ireland. So that's the halfway stage of the innings. Nepal 73 for 2. I'm here talking with the Nepal bowling coach. That's Venkat Ram, who's been telling us all things about Nepal cricket. And Venkat, you've been really taken with this young Nepal side. You think it's a bright future?
See, the greatness of this team is the best part is the captain. He's creating an atmosphere here where the boys are performing. And outstanding captain, he's handling the team very well. He takes care of everything, the fitness, or batting, bowling, he's all over. And he kept talking to the boys, and he's a very experienced. With experience, he's a very humble human being. So that is what I see him. So I can really very much sure that that this team will do under his captainship within next couple of hours.
Going to have a change in bowling for Ireland. George Dockrell we'll see for the first time today with his left arm spin. And we saw this throughout the tri-series in Dublin that Dockrell tended to be used late in the innings. And we might end up with a scenario where he might not bowl his full allocation of 4, but crucial wicket that one, the final ball of Delaney's third over, getting the big scalp of Pandey. We'll see Dockrell into the attack for the first time. And at the halfway stage of the innings, Nepal 73 for 2, exactly half the runs scored, 73 more to win. So the game nicely poised.
Yeah, very well poised is the game. But it's still the more is the Nepal side. If they'll continue batting like this. But yeah, they never know. The cricket is very uncertainty in the game. So we'll wait.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Dipendra Singh Iree off the mark with a quick single. That's what we'll get from him. Busy young cricketer. As Arif Sheikh comes back on to strike. Arif Sheikh's looked in good touch. Boundary off his first ball from Boyd Rankin. what will the tactics be going forward here for the remainder of the innings? You'll be looking to try and pick up a boundary each over and complement it with some singles?
The backup plan is there, definitely. So we'll go easily, but with the way they're playing, it will go on like this. If required, at all is required, we have a players behind. Karan is there, and the one and a couple of batsmen. They can really go for the bowlers. So if their turn has come, so definitely they'll show their skill.
How have you seen the batting evolve throughout your time in Singapore and on here to Oman? It hasn't necessarily been a strength. There's been some inconsistency in the batting.
Very much, I'll say. But in fact, in this tournament, Muscat, our batting is really improved. Singapore, we couldn't do so well because of the wicket. Here the wicket is beautiful, fantastic pitch where they really enjoy playing shots. So Nepal side, they had the basically stroke players, where Singapore that wicket was not so favorable to play that kind of cricket. So here, what I'm saying, the Nepal team, because of the hardness of the wicket here, they're really doing very well.
Good tight over from George Dockrell, just 3 runs coming from it. Nepal moved to 76 for 2 after 11 overs. That required run rate just creeping up towards 8 and over for the first time. So Nepal are going to need to try and judge this chase well. They do have power hitters to come, as you said, Venkat, but going to need to try and keep that figure from escalating out of control.
7.8.
Yeah, that's the required run rate there at the bottom of your screen. 7.8 needed. And we're going to see another change in bowling. This time, the off spin of Simi Singh into the attack. So a bit of a trial by spin, but that's something Nepal are used to. There's a lot of spin bowling up in there in Kathmandu and Bakar and all across north of India.
Yeah. What is his name? Is the bowlers?
So this is Simi Singh into the attack now.
Yeah, okay. See, this wicket, because of the weather, it's very hot. So this wicket is always a grip little bit, Fast bowler also, they go for cutters, spinner ball with a take turn. So our batsmen should be very, very, very careful about the nature of the pitch now. So once they settle, I'm very much sure that we'll finish our game in good note.
Aggression from Irie, who looks for the sweep shot. He's going to run quickly between the wickets. George Dockrell picks up, the throw comes in, but really good fast running from Dipender Singh Irie will get him back for 2. And that's kind of his game, really, isn't it? Fast running between the wickets, cuts and pulls and sweeps, and looking for the 2s rather than power hitting and clearing the ropes.
Actually, this kind of wicket, you cannot play much of drives in the front of the wicket. So our batsmen, they're very good in cut and pull. This kind of wicket, it suits our batsmen. I'm sure that our batsmen, this kid will definitely see beautiful shot they played.
Yeah, Dipender Singh Irie so comfortable on the cut.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting field they've got set for Irie. And remember, 2 Irish players, Paul Sterling and Kevin O'Brien, have spent time in Nepal at the Everest Premier League last year. So perhaps using that knowledge of having played with and against Dipender Singh Irie to set that field. Andy Balbirnie out at deep point there.
See, I have not worked with them much of even last year also, but I'm planning after my completing the domestic in India. If given an opportunity, I'd like to work with them. They are the fantastic talent, and raw talent. They hardly play much of cricket over there, and the conditions are not so good. Even then, the boys are doing is a really mine. And they're very tough guys.
And this is really good tight stuff from the 2 Irish spinners. Just 3 runs coming from that over again. And at this point, Venkat, I'd like to thank you so much for coming to join us during the middle of the game.
Thank you.
Really interesting to hear your thoughts. And we'll send you back to the team chase. And good luck with the rest of the chase now. So there were the thoughts of Venkat Ram, the Nepal bowling coach. And I'll be rejoined now by Jamil Zaidi. And Jamil, with just 8 overs to go in this chase, perhaps Ireland coming back into it a little bit. You felt it was Nepal's game to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like that they're coming back into the game. And as I told you earlier, spinners have done a good job so far. Simi is doing very well.
And George Dockrell's going to continue to Dipender Singh Airi looking for that sweep shot. But both of these batsmen have just got a little bit bogged down by the spinners.
Yeah, absolutely. They're bowling on the spot from the Simi and what's the name? Tuck.
George Dockrell.
Yeah.
George Dockrell with his left arm orthodox doing a really effective job here, and every single one of these dots is just sending that required run rate up. It's the highest it's been now in the entire innings. Pushes up over 8.6 for the first time. 8.74 required now in that run rate. And singles aren't going to cut it right now for the pull.
Absolutely brilliant bowling. Oh, there's a misfield. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Jamil, that was a poor misfield.
Oh.
It was always just a single there, and Gareth Delaney, looking for the one-handed pickup, has fumbled that one.
Oh, every run is very, very important for Ireland. Their bowlers are doing a great job right now, both the spinners, Simi and Dockrell, from the other end.
Shorter cut away, this time by Arif Sheikh, going to be a single to Gareth Delaney. What will the tactics be here from Nepal? They've plenty of wickets in hand, but they need to start finding boundaries.
Yeah. At least now 12 overs has gone. At least one boundary in an over is quite enough, at least to keep them up for the run chase.
Yeah, they can't find that boundary at the moment because the Irish spinners just stifling this Nepal batting lineup. Both batsmen struggling a little bit. Dipender Singh Airi, 8 off 13. Mohammad Arif Sheikh, 20 off 20. Just looking to get that run rate up if they can.
So far, remarkable job is done by both these spinners. They stopped the run, which was coming very easily before.
Quick single. Good batting from Dipender Singh Airi. That's what you get with him. Quick between the wickets. 13 overs gone.
Yeah.
Nepal 84 for 2. And I think we've got a hell of a game on here.
Yes, I think it's equally poised right now. I feel it because 8.4 is also not very good. You can run rate to chase. But they are bowling, Simi and Dockrell bowling extremely well. Just not letting the batsmen to play their shot, keeping a bit short, keep them quiet from both the ends.
So Singh will continue, and no surprise with that. Singh and Dockrell spells getting Ireland back in the game, and we're even seeing Paul Sterling warm up, so I wonder will they try to get an over of off breaks out of Paul Sterling as well.
He did bowl a couple of us in the last match, but not very much successful.
Rather extraordinary shot that from Dipender Singh Airi, almost flinging himself Superman style towards the ball for that cut shot for a single. Surely would have been a wide if he'd left that.
It was too wide, but he chased it outside the off stump and fell on it to play it on towards point.
I think Dipender Singh Airi is looking for a shot to be named after him, and we're going to call that one the Flying Superman. And managed to get batting it to save his wicket. Of course, if he'd left it alone, he could have been stumped by Gary Wilson. But that's what Simi Singh does. He watches the batsman really intently right up to the delivery of release.
Yeah, he released a bit later, sawing the batsman coming up. Unfortunate for him not to get him out.
Yeah, classic example of where the single in the scorebook hasn't done justice to the action on the pitch. But that required run rate up to 9 now for the first time. 9 and over Nepal need. Are we going to see some late Karen KC heroics? Again, reverse hit. What a shot that is. That's going to be 6 all the way. Absolutely outstanding, that one from Dipender Singh Airi. He switches his hands and his feet and he scoops that one soaring into the pavilion here. 6 all the way.
Beautifully placed reverse sweep from Dipender. He's playing gem of innings so far. I have not seen him playing. Last time he got out very early. But today he's playing, I think, of his class.
Yeah, the amazing thing about that shot, he threatened to come down the track at first, and then he rearranged his feet and simply scooped it.
Beautifully placed.
We've seen a fielder go into that position. I don't think I've ever seen that to an off-spinner before. There was a fielder specifically for the reverse scoop sweep. Gareth Delaney back at what's really a wide third man alongside the deep point that's out on the field, on the boundary as well.
Yeah, and this T20 has brought a lot of unfamiliar shots in the game. Reverse sweep, scooping and this and that, you can expect any innovation from the batsman.
Yeah, more quick running between the wickets. We'll get Sheikh back for 2. And a crucial 6 that was in this over, because that's already 11 runs from the over, and that required run rate back down towards 8 and over.
Yeah, that beautiful hit toward the gully boundary for 6 from the Pinder has brought the run rate back into their favour at the moment. But still, I think 8.5 is still required.
Flatter this time and punch straight to Kevin O'Brien at extra cover. So a good over for Nepal. We'll finish with the dot. 11 runs from that one. And after 14 overs, Nepal are 95 for 2. And you'd have to think that their own fate is in their hands here.
Yes. I think 8.5 is still not an easy target to get. The way the things are going, I think Irish bowlers has to do a lot of hard work. Keep this run rate up, going up to chase.
Let's look at some of those options that Gary Wilson has at his disposal, because we've already seen 6 bowlers used. We're not going to see Paul Sterling yet. We're going to see George Dockrell continue. Mark Adair and Boyd Rankin have bowled very well. Solitary wicket for Gareth Delaney as well. But plenty of options for Gary Wilson. But you'd have to sense these 2 overs from Dockrell are going to be really crucial.
Of course, yes. Bowling very well. And he has to check the batsman bowling very intelligently right now. Not getting chance batsmen to come over him.
Yet another cut shot from Dipendra Singh Airi, and if you're wondering what that fielder is doing behind square on the offside for a spinner, it's the kind of fielding position you could never ever have imagined to a spin bowler. It's a deep wide third man specifically for the reverse sweep.
They became more defensive, I think, and too defensive rather, you can say. Because generally only one sweeper is there on the onside or the offside and there.
Yeah, that one punched down the ground for a single straight to Mark Adair. And with 50 required, now just 49 more needed from 5.4 overs, I think we've got a game that is right in the balance.
Yes, equally poised.
Can Nepal make it 3 wins from 3 games here in Oman this week in the Pentagular series? Andrew Leonard here bringing you these pictures with cricket clubs and Oman cricket. And I'm with Jamil Zaidi. And we could have a real cracker. We always seem to get cracking games with Nepal.
Yes, last week it was really a cracker between Nepal and Netherlands.
That one swept this time by Arif Sheikh, and really outstanding fielding that from Harry Tector. He sprinted 25 yards to his right, picked it up one-handed and flung it right over the top to Gary Wilson.
Absolutely.
Good decision
Brilliant
to not come back for 2.
Yeah, brilliant fielding. Absolutely. Couple of such fieldings will definitely put dent on Nepal's hopes for coming up with this total.
That one's wide outside the off stump. Good piece of keeping from Gary Wilson. Scoops it up and keeps it to just the solitary wide. Dockrell looking to go full and wide outside the off stump with his protection on the offside.
I think he is trying to, deceive the batsman. He's using his feet. He thought might be with wide, with his stumping will come up.
What a catch that is. It was the attempted pull shot from Dipendra Singh Airi, but it's ended up coming straight back to George Dockrell, who took that catch with such nonchalance. He just popped it back to the umpire. He said that one's out. And on exactly 100, with the 100 coming up from that wide, George Dockrell is struck. And let's see if we can bring you the replay on this one. Jamil, that could be a crucial wicket.
Absolutely, yes. He was playing superbly, playing all his shots. And that's the wicket I think Ireland was looking for. Now they have to be more, you can say that, be more spot on.
Scoop sweep for 6. One of the shots of the tournament, no doubt about that. But he has to go for 19. A good innings from him, nonetheless. 19 off 20 deliveries, just the solitary 6.
But brilliant bowling by Dockrell. He took a brilliant catch off his own bowling on this Dupinder.
Yeah, we said these 2 overs from Dockrell were going to be the key to the Nepal chase, and he's found a wicket to go alongside his frugal economy. Just 5 runs from this over so far. Dockrell using all his experience with his left arm spin. These are conditions that should favour him. Haven't seen a huge amount of extravagant turn, but just enough for the spinners.
Yeah.
And they've been the tighter of the bowlers compared to the quicks so far.
If you see Dockrell, he's releasing the ball a bit later than the batsmen expect. This is the quicker one.
Yeah, Binod Bandari, the new man to the crease, in at number 5 for Nepal. He starts with a sweep shot, which didn't go exactly where he intended it, but he gets the single, probably off the toe end of the bat. And with 5 overs to go, the equation is simple. Nepal need 45 more runs to win at exactly 9 and over.
9 and over, yeah, absolutely. But this man, Bandari, is a very, very aggressive player, play his own shots at his will. But if Ireland got him out, I'm sure the things will be 70-30 like.
And wherever you're watching from right around the world, whether it be Nepal or Ireland, you're very welcome to this coverage of Game 7 of 10 here in the Oman Pentagular T20I series. And we'll bring you the points table as it stands at the moment, because this game is really crucial in terms of where the title will go from this week. You can see at the moment there on your screens, Oman on top. But only because of net run rate. They'll have to play the Netherlands this afternoon. That'll be Game 2 at 2 p.m. local time today. Game 8 of the tournament. But for Ireland to have any chance of taking the title, they're going to have to win here today.